Is it some devil that crawls inside of you?
Hey folks, welcome to the Bad Etiquette Podcast. We're back. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
See, you're a harder nut to crack,
Why?
like I said, because I was already having like a conversation with Chris, and I just started I was just like, I'll just fucking hit record right here. But you're like ready to respond. You're a counter striker, is what they call it.
I think what it is that I'm so used to his format where it's rolling when you walk in, and you don't want to waste the small talk off mic.
Well,
I definitely have that mentality that what if I tell you something like earth-shattering and we weren't recording?
Okay,
I have nothing earth-shattering.
Okay, but still, listen, I think that there's a big part of where I would tell people, oh, no, save it for the podcast. And then I wouldn't talk to people. Mm-hmm. And then I wouldn't get a connection with them. It wouldn't be organic. I wouldn't have chemistry. And then I'd be like, so tell me about that thing that I know nothing about now. Like,
right,
I'd be like winking at him like, hey, fucker, hint. And it just is so obvious. It's just gross. It doesn't come off genuine at all. And I don't like that. Yeah. I would rather have like there was things me and Chris talked about that we eventually got to on the podcast, but we just had a nice conversation beforehand. But yeah, no, like I said, you're what I call a counter striker. Like if we were fighting, you wait for the person to come in and dodge it and then hit them or hit them with one of yours. You're like,
what are you?
Respond with a fucking dumb brawler idiot. A freaking biting down on my mouthpiece and going towards the danger like an idiot. That's not true. Yeah, that is true. I'm stupid. Anyways, this is my guest, Alli Wallace. How you doing?
Good. Happy to be back.
I'm happy to have you back. You're one of a few people that I'm like comfortable enough to have socially not distant.
Yeah.
Socially near.
Yeah. We were very flattered that you reached out.
Well, I thought for sure you guys would be like, ew, no.
Really?
I would have respected the response if you guys were like, no, but thank you anyways.
Aw, come on.
I'm waiting for a webcam.
Why? So you can like Zoom interview people?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you know what's funny? There's the Zoom recorders, which have nothing to do with Zoom video calling.
Right.
And there's a podcast I listen to that has a perfect sound when they do the Zoom video chat podcast. And I'm like, what the fuck? How do they do that?
Yeah.
They record it on Zoom. They have the audio files separate.
Right.
So they have a backup. And I'm like, fuck, that's why their sound's good.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for this webcam to do them. And it's probably not even going to be good. It's probably going to sound all...
Don't have that mindset.
It's not going to sound as good. Excuse me.
Maybe. Yeah.
But how have you been keeping yourself busy?
Well, drawing, and Chris, I'm sure he told you about our Adam Sandler film off.
Did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That truly has really kept our spirits up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because it's a challenge in a way, because it's like we have to like knock all of these things off the list.
Yeah.
But it's like even the more serious films, it's always a good time.
That's good.
So,
well, which one's your favorite?
That's hard. I'll say that they're like categories of favorite ones, because there's a chunk of ones that we've seen before. You know, like I love...
You guys are the exact fucking same. I can't
No, we're not.
You guys
we're pretty similar. We're pretty similar.
I have to turn you down.
Yeah, go for it. No, you're good. I always liked Happy Gilmore, and 50 First Dates is one of my favorites.
Yes. Isn't it? That's a hidden gem.
Yeah.
That one's really good.
I saw it for the first time on an airplane, and for some reason, because of that, it stuck with me.
I've never been on an airplane, but I imagine the movies that you're like, when you're trapped somewhere and you just gotta transport yourself.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Someplace else while you're stuck in this tube. I think movies on airplanes sounds like where people remember those. They're like, I remember that fucking documentary.
Yeah. It's either like a really good or really bad memory. But yeah, so I really liked 50 First Dates. Some of the newer ones we've seen, I really liked Blended. I thought that was a great
What's Blended?
comeback. It's another Drew Barrymore, Adam Sandler.
Oh, is it a newer one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have high expectations. Was happily thrilled.
That's awesome.
Jack and Jill ended up being hilarious.
That's what I've been told.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I cried laughing at it.
Really?
I did, yeah.
Oh man, I would love to
I wept.
fucking watch it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good ones. Even I think a huge lesson of it has been that, so many of his movies get panned by people. And you see like, 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. And we have a great time anyway.
I refuse to let any reviews of anything sway my opinion. If I see people don't like something on reviews, I'm like, looks like I'm definitely going to watch it now. Because you guys are assholes.
Right.
If anyone has like the wherewithal to be like, I better go tell people what I think about and how good this movie is or isn't. I'm like, well, there's something wrong with you anyways.
Right.
Because you're just doing it of your own accord, your own volition. Yeah. Gross. Like no one's valuing your opinion so badly that you're like, I better get to it first.
Right.
I better share it before they ask, before I'm hounded with questions. So just critics and reviewers and things like that kind of irk me. But yeah, I think that Adam Sandler movies just got like top shelved again in a big way.
Yeah.
There's like a couple things recently. I don't know, at least in my world.
Yeah.
I think is on the upswing again.
I think
also being a billionaire, he probably doesn't care.
I think that Adam Sandler needs his own like rating system. I think that you can't put Adam Sandler films to the same scale as other films. He's created like his own universe in a way.
Universe.
It's the same repeat people. It's the same, and so.
Who's your favorite to see in a movie again? Of
like
cast?
Adam Sandler appearances. I love Kevin Nealon.
Yeah.
He always makes me smile.
That's the most highbrow answer you could have
Is
said.
it?
That's the best. That's like the most like, definitely Kevin Nealon, the stand-up comedian extraordinaire.
I'll say I probably came like introduced to Kevin Nealon in a more backwards way than other people. I loved Weeds.
Yeah.
And I loved him in Weeds. In fact, I'll say that's Doug when I like see him in my brain. It's
totally
Doug.
From fucking.
And then, obviously we saw him in documentaries and movies and other non-Weeds material. But yeah,
Was he in the Gary Shandling documentary?
He was.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when you said documentary,
Right.
you were saying.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I'm so unfamiliar with Gary Shandling though.
This is how you become familiar.
Yeah, it sucks.
This is the best way you could.
I hate doing that when someone's like, "Oh, they're dead now." Okay, better go. The band broke up. Oh, better go listen to. Prince died. Better
Right.
check him out.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Well, that's better than being, Prince died. He was my favorite. I can't name anything by him.
I agree. Because Anthony Bourdain fucking killed himself, and that hurt in different ways than your favorite like celebrity just dying.
Right. Yeah.
They're like, even he didn't like him. Ouch. I mean, I have no idea why he killed himself. That's not funny. Stop laughing at that.
Took a dark turn.
Well,
I'll say what I'm thinking of right now. I won't name names to be nice to them, but we have a friend that made an Anthony Bourdain joke, and which to begin with, it's like he made it to a girl he really liked too. So already it's like he got the method of how he killed himself incorrect in the joke.
Oh,
and so it was
just arrival.
like right, just like
suicide on arrival.
And he didn't know until we told him. Like he repeated the joke to us, and we're like, wait.
What's the joke?
I can't remember it specifically. I mean, it wasn't funny to begin with, and so even me repeating it. But he made a joke about how he overdosed.
Okay.
And I was like, wait.
That's not.
No. And then just the pain of knowing the context of who he told and where he told it. It's like,
oh no.
So that's partially what I'm thinking of.
That sucks. Well, you know what? The day of, I had to like make jokes about it because I'm like,
to get through it.
I have to do it first because if I see someone else do it,
it's gonna
I'm
hurt.
going to hate them and it's
Right.
going to hurt. So the first thing I did was share a picture of Guy Fieri, rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain. And I was like, I just got to do this right now. I even like captioned it like, I just got to get this out of my system.
Is this a Facebook?
Yeah, I'm
move?
sorry. Oh God. If anyone's ever been on my Facebook ever, I apologize. It's not for the faint of heart or the.
Got a lot going on there.
Oh, it's a firestorm. Although to be fair, the rest of my friends on there much worse.
Really?
Like on the totem pole of like shit posters, I'm pretty low.
You're the highest on my friends list.
I know I am, sweetie. Don't get it twisted. I'm aware by how the lack of responses I get from people.
I'll say that I probably look at like 80% of what you post and I haven't responded to any of it.
Oh my goodness.
Even if I laugh at it, I don't engage.
Oh, that's hurtful. If you laugh, give me a like or a laugh.
I'll show it to
react.
Chris. I'll be like, did you see this?
That's funny.
And we'll share a giggle. And
Yeah. Oh man, it's all just to entertain people.
I honestly, part of it is that I feel like if I like or haha one of your posts, that if I like run for a political office, they're gonna be like, August 2019, you liked this.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's a great way to get canceled. So it's a fantastic way to. I know what something like that. Oh, I was just honestly stressing about Chris being on here because I'm like, I don't know if I'm the person to. He's already like in the public eye.
He
I don't know
is.
if he wants to be associated with me in public. But too late.
Already done?
Already done.
Put it out real quick.
Oh, I would do it day of if I could. I had to like text or email the engineer and I was like, hey dude, I got like 2 or 3 podcasts coming up. I really want them out like this week, then that one next week. I canceled one because I didn't really feel up to doing it. I was gonna do another one.
Oh.
But I know that they're probably listening to this one now
Yeah.
and going, oh, you did that one, but not mine.
Right, yeah.
Douche. So let me just explain myself.
All right, yeah. Here's the shovel.
Yeah. Oh dear. What is it? Dig my
Get out of the hole. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna do a jiu-jitsu podcast with my coach
Oh,
over at the jiu-jitsu gym,
yeah.
but I didn't really feel like driving over there. And then like, my uncle just died on Monday,
Oh.
so I was very upset. Oh, still am probably. I mean, no, I definitely. There's no probably.
Okay,
I still am, and you two, I'm close with you two, and I'm only so close to my coach.
Gotcha.
I didn't want to like go there and then like act differently,
Right.
Or like put on a show,
Yeah.
of myself
Fake it.
when I'm really just like, everything hurts over here, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel that. I feel that
he's
way.
very enthusiastic about the podcast I have with him, and
You want to be amped with him.
Don't want to let him down. He's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. So
I get that.
sorry,
I've
Jason.
been there.
So what else besides Adam Sandler movies? Do you binge watch shows when you're stuck in quarantine like this? Because you two are very like productive people. Sometimes I don't even consider that you guys sin like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, did he tell you about Curb Your Enthusiasm?
yeah, he did.
That's
Yeah, we
been,
talked about that.
I mean, we
Okay.
watched that this morning. We watched it last night. We watched it this morning. That's the current, I guess it's a binge. We're watching them on DVD though.
Oh, that's
Remember
so
that?
awesome. Yeah, I got a couple DVDs. So the DVDs on here that are shows, those
Mm-hmm.
are mine. Family Guy, that's mine. Robin Big, that's mine.
I forgot about Robin Pig. But yeah, we've been watching on DVD and
Okay.
yeah.
What's it like liking the same shows as your significant other?
It's great. Yeah.
Describe it to me.
Like, do you not experience this? Are you on like a different wavelength or?
Yeah, Kylie's like, oh, I don't want to watch a bunch of murder and stuff all the time and like dark, depressing things.
Like, I'll say that there is at times the negotiation of like the mood of what we're going to watch.
Yeah.
That, you know, if we make a list of, 3 different things we could watch, that it's like, I don't know if I'm up for that or I don't. So there's that. So even if we both like the thing, the mood has to be right for what it is.
Okay.
We're getting to a point in the Adam Sandler list where there's only so many left.
Yeah.
And it's weird little pockets.
What's left?
We have the 3 Hotel Transylvanias left.
Those are Adam Sandler movies?
They are.
How? He's in them?
Yeah. Main guy, main voice.
In Hotel Transylvania?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
Egghead,
Yeah.
SNL.
Uh-huh. Yep. And so
What the fuck?
we've got to get through those.
How did I not know that?
Get with the Adam Sandler program, I guess. So our list is ones that he stars in. Anything he makes a cameo in, minor character, that's off the table. So there are some movies that he like has a very small role that are not on the list. It's just starring Adam Sandler. And so now we have like a few dramas, a couple comedies we've already seen, the Hotel Transylvanias. And so it's kind of a weird mix.
What's
and it's
left?
getting slim
What's
pickings.
left?
I should have brought the list with me. That's what I should have done.
Yeah, you don't have a list?
We have a physical paper list that we're crossing off.
I know. He told me. Ugh.
We have Uncut Gems left.
I haven't seen it either. I'm so excited for it.
I'm excited for it too.
I almost rented it last night.
But that's one that we know is going to be intense because that's what we've heard. Like people are like stressed out when they watch it.
I'm stressed out thinking about it.
So that we still have left. The Hotel Transylvanias, 8 Crazy Nights, which is
have you seen that?
haven't seen it, but we're not in a holiday
my
season.
God.
It's gonna be feels off.
Might be my favorite Adam Sandler thing. Vehicle. Might be. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what I told Chris. But that might be my favorite.
Okay.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
All right.
Because there's always movies you forget and you're like, oh,
Right.
that fucking thing. That one is up there.
Okay.
It like just in terms of how much I enjoyed it as a child.
All right.
Not because it was animated, but because like I'm just saying like I wasn't like, oh, it was a cartoon, so it was good kid fun.
I get
like,
that. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That's a good sales pitch because we didn't know how to feel about it. It's like this seems like weird watching like
There's a lot of heart in that thing.
Okay.
It's heartbreaking too.
Oh.
It's like, you know how there's always something sad but beautiful in an Adam Sandler movie?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Like Drew Barrymore, her memory's not coming back in 50 First Dates. It's really sad, but it's really beautiful how he is so invested in this woman and making her fall in love every day.
Yeah.
I watched that in a hotel room with Kylie, and I think we both cried when we watched it. And I own that. It's right there. That's one of the one of the movies up there.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, okay, I'm familiar with this movie, but watching it like with an adult mind frame, sad.
Gotta love it.
Heartbreaking.
The dad and the
Beautiful.
brother every day doing the same birthday routine,
Oh my God.
watching The Sixth Sense every night. Painting the walls white after she paints them. I'm just gonna keep pushing you off the ledge right now.
Jokes, I know.
You're already feeling hurt. Let me just
repainting.
Yeah. We have like the Noah Baumbach movie he did.
Which one's that? That's not Punch Drunk Love, is it?
No, that's Paul Thomas Anderson.
Same thing.
We've both seen that once and have not seen it in years, and we haven't watched that one yet.
Okay.
That seems like we have to be kind of in a right place to take that on.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So we've got a few dramas. We just watched Waterboy last night, which we both have seen, obviously. But yeah.
I have nothing to say about Waterboy.
You love it? You
I'm sorry. Sweet.
it?
I just said I have nothing to say.
You gotta talk about it now.
About Waterboy.
You have to talk about it now.
I've never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't get like to
Okay.
me it seems like the least appealing Adam Sandler movie.
You're gonna love it.
What, he's a retarded water boy? That's not funny.
That's not the takeaway of this.
Oh my God.
You're really gonna love it.
Okay.
Henry Winkler and Kathy Bates are both in it.
Okay.
And
Yeah. I've never
really
seen a
bring
bad-
on. Yeah,
Never
you
seen
got
a
it.
bad Henry Winkler role. He's
No,
great.
of course not.
Have you seen Barry?
No, I know I'm gonna love it. I have not seen it. There are things that I know I'm gonna love, and I'm like almost like saving them.
Yeah.
Or it's just like this
do
isn't
that.
the time, but because we
It's
both love
nice.
Bill Hader.
Well,
We love Henry Winkler. Yeah.
It's nice to have like you like got this in your like back pocket or like you're
Right.
like I'm saving this. Like
Yeah.
it's in your savings account of
Yes.
joy.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
love that.
It's almost I almost have like a category of like the next time I get sick for a week.
Yeah.
Like this is maybe what we'll take on. But I was actually last summer, 2 summers ago, Caitlin and I were in Los Angeles and saw a bus bench that had basically, I don't even know what to call this. It was an ad pasted on the bench clearly for filming the show. So it was like one of the show's in character on the bench that like they clearly filmed a scene where that was,
That's funny.
Scene.
Okay.
So yeah.
For Barry? Oh.
Yeah. So that was fun. But no, have not seen it yet.
It's on Hulu.
Oh.
They just did, for whatever reason, Hulu has a bunch of free HBO shows on right now.
Oh, okay.
So I'm watching The Sopranos.
How's that going? That's another thing. Have not taken it on. Feel like I'll probably like it, but feels like a commitment.
When I first watched it, I was like, this is, I don't know why people think this show's so good. And then now that I'm on the last season, I realize I'm like, oh, I cry after every other episode. That makes sense. Not literally, but I'm literally like, every time the credits roll, I go, what the fuck did I just let slip past me? Like it sneaks up on you. That show sneaks up on you. You don't even realize, because you're like, it's a mafia drama. But it's so real. Like you're not watching Goodfellas. You're not watching The Godfather. It's so, I don't know. And I think because of like the time we grew up in and the time it came out, it's so interesting to see how the show deals with like 9/11 and then like things like that. It's really cathartic, and also it really hits you in some spots, some sensitive spots. And that's what I love about the show so far.
Okay. How far are you?
I am on the last season out of the 6 seasons. So we'll see.
Oh, so you're about to hit like the withdrawal end of the line.
Well,
and you have the Sopranos ending.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what it is?
I don't recall what it is, but I do know that I've heard it. I've read it. I'm aware of it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, but that ending didn't fucking mean anything because I don't know who any of these characters are.
Sure. Yeah.
But I do know that if I like a character in The Sopranos, they're gone. If I hate a character in The Sopranos, they're in the whole show. Whole show. If you, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just me. Fuck. My blood is boiling thinking about it. My body just got like vividly hot. My skin. Okay. Anyways, do you listen to podcasts by chance? Like other than
honestly, not really.
Okay.
So there are podcasts that Chris and I have listened to together as like kind of just a ritual together. Like we listen to all of Serial together. Right now we've been listening to Office Ladies, and we've been listening to that both together and separately. Like if I
what's Office Ladies?
Oh, it's Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsley
going
over each. Yeah.
That's funny. There's a Sopranos podcast where 2 of the ladies from that fucking show watch.
Okay. We're really enjoying it. It's great because we both know The Office well enough that it's a show that like we immediately know what they're talking about. And so that's been fun. And so even if we do something separately, it's like, do you want to listen to this episode today? Yeah. And so both of us will listen to it and then laugh about it later.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we'll do that
existed.
with different shows sometimes together but separate at times, or sometimes we'll go for a drive and listen to it.
Okay.
But honestly, I have a hard time doing a thing while listening to a podcast.
Okay.
Like I can drive and listen to it and that's all good and fine, but like doing any kind of other activity, it's like my attention cannot go to both. And usually it's the podcast that gets sacrificed, and then I missed out on like some critical piece of information. So
interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I can really get my tasks done to the degree of, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I do things well when I'm listening to a podcast now that you say that. Because I'm thinking about like, I listen to podcasts when I do stuff all the time. And then I'm thinking about like, that really takes a while, huh? Like, oh man, that really... I really burnt those eggs, didn't I? Or like, I really forgot about the coffee. Fuck.
I'm someone that I can't, like, if I can't have a conversation with you or listen to what you're saying while I'm like typing an email. I will start typing what you're saying.
Oh, I'll do that.
And so that's kind of the same thing where I just can't separate those things well. So if like Chris listens to a podcast and he says like, you should really listen to this, or this was funny, or this is great, or whatever, then that's something that the next time I go for a drive, I'll listen to. But on my own, I'm not recommending things to people. I'm not coming up with content. No.
You're mostly a music person then? You just listen to music when you're doing things? Is that or do you not listen to anything at all?
You know, I'll do this thing where I'll like turn on the radio and put it to like a really quiet level where it's like white noise and it's just background while I'm mostly thinking for a drive. If I like that. If I'm going to a place, if I'm like driving to a wedding in Los Angeles, I can listen to a thing. That's the time where it's like, I'll ask Chris, hey, what should I listen to? And he'll give me a good thing that he thinks I'll like. But on the way back, that's like my decompressing my brain. And I will just like, I can sit in that white noise silence for a very long time.
It's probably really helpful in like a mental health kind of way to have that like reflective period.
It's definitely
like white noise?
What I would what other people have is like their shower ideas and like that kind of thing usually happens to me while I'm driving by myself.
I panic when I'm driving and think of something and I can't write it down.
Oh yeah.
Or I can't like you were writing something down.
Yeah, I parked and wrote. Yeah.
See, like I would panic and what I do is like I'll get one hand on the wheel and one hand with a pen do it on my hand while I'm driving and like
I
won't even look at the hand. I'll just scribble it down there and like my eyes are darting up and down and I'm like, oh, I hope I got it. And then I get to the fucking location I'm driving to. All that nervous sweat just smeared my writing off. And I'm like, fuck, I really should have pulled over for that.
I've been in a similar place. I'll also just do that if there's something I forgot to do I remember. I need to.
Urgent.
Yeah. I'll also do a note in my phone and then screenshot the note so that the next time I go to my camera roll, it's like in big letters looking at me.
Okay.
So.
There's a way to make it so you can talk to the phone, like to be like, hey Siri, and then it'll.
I like how gentle you are.
Yeah.
Hey Siri.
I don't want anyone's phones to stop this podcast right now.
Mine won't do it. I have to press a button.
Well, okay. Yeah. Some people's will, and I was watching a show
and it said it and it triggered it.
Well, it triggered my Alexa.
Yep, we have that happen too. Like a commercial for an Alexa happens and then your Alexa does it. Yep, that happened to us like 2 nights ago.
My Alexa's a little bitch. I tell you what, I came up to her and I was like, hey Alexa, should I get a Google Home? She was like, I do not. I don't know. She just played dumb. She was playing dumb. And I was like, oh, okay, but you know the square circumference of Mars, huh, bitch? All right, got it.
How polite are you to your Alexa? Are you abusive? Or
as awful to Alexa as a human could be. It's so funny. Alexa can take all the racial slurs in the world. My neighbors can't. So I got to be. I don't know that. I'm just kidding. They're great sports.
Well, kind of. They're like, recording everything you're saying.
Yeah, I know, right? No, I'm just teasing, though. I don't call her racial slurs, but I will walk up to her and be like, Alexa, you're a fucking bitch. You know that? Hey, Alexa, you know you're a fucking dumb cunt and I hate you. I'm sorry. I don't know that. She just plays dumb and I'm like, I know you know. So there's just like, she's like slowly stacking up all this anger management data and like just mining all of this like. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not my Alexa. So it's not like my Amazon account on her.
Oh, she knows. She knows everything.
She's like, don't worry. I know, sweetie. I have a U file in this person's Amazon
You get
account.
framed for murder, and they're going through all those
oh my gosh.
Alexa statements.
If I framed for murder, what if I commit murder? I'm going to fucking take her to the batting cages, that little bitch. There's this great joke that, well, that's what I was saying about when I'm driving and I think of something, it's mostly a joke. And it's usually so specific of like a punchline, a tag or something, or even a perspective that I panic and I'm like, I got to write this down or I got to pull over. I'm fucking anxious. So yeah, driving's this weird thing of like, oh, I do get a lot of ideas and I have a lot of time to think to myself.
Yeah.
And honestly, I haven't driven very long. I think I'm getting stupider. I don't think I've had enough thoughts lately.
Go for a drive.
I think I
Change
should.
that.
Chris said he goes for a drive.
Yep.
That's like his thing. You go to Starbucks, he goes for a drive.
Yeah.
How cute. First of all, love your guys' relationship.
Thank you. I do too.
You better. It would be really awkward. A little awkward if you're like, well, I'm glad someone does. Yeah. I'm going to have to employ that tactic of going for a drive.
Yeah.
To like just think. Because like, if I were to go for a drive, I'd be like, oh, what if like I don't end up anywhere? What if someone's like nervous that I'm driving around? I don't know. I have some like
No, I get that.
preposterous paranoia about it. Where I'm like, why would I waste gas if I'm not going
No,
somewhere?
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Good. So please tell me more about your amazing drawings. I love your drawings. If for those of you who don't know, Alli does these single line portraits.
Yeah.
So you just go one uninterrupted line when you draw these things?
I'll say that because, I mean, I just showed you doing it on an iPad, that I have picked up and then started from the point that I was at again, because I've noticed that if I do it all in one go, that if one thing gets messed up, you can't like undo it. Okay. And so it's like little checkpoints along the way almost.
That's funny.
Like,
that's
because there's definitely been times.
So it's like, not uninterrupted, but it's a single
right. Yeah,
route.
it's all
Well, regardless,
if you look at it, the line all connects to each point. So yeah,
I was very flattered to have one of me. That was a dream. And Kylie was not. How did you end up drawing my dog?
She asked me.
She asked you to draw? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought about it. I was like, I wonder if I should get her to fucking draw.
No, yeah, she asked. She said Dallas's birthday is coming up and asked me to do that. That is the nice thing.
Yeah. It's at the highest point in my room.
Really?
It's like up there with... Kylie told me that if I put things higher up on my room wall, that it won't seem so small in here.
It's true.
And I said, I have vaulted ceilings anyways. It's a fucking big room. I don't think anyone's noticing. So now I was like, well, now he's up there. Now he's like out of the... Yeah. Now I can't see him.
Oh, yeah,
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, where is he?
He's looking over you.
Oh, Remy, don't say that. That sounds so sensitive. But seriously, I wasn't kidding. So you draw movie scenes, and then have people guess them on your stories. I was not being remotely hyperbolic when I said I look forward to these every day. They give me purpose. Like every time, like I look for your stories.
Aww.
I'm like, where's hers? Click, because I don't watch people's stories because I get really like annoyed because I follow thousands of people. Everyone has a story. And I don't watch everyone's story. Yeah. I'll watch 2 or 3 and go, if it were up to me, I could turn everyone's stories off. I wish there was an option where you can just hide stories and it wasn't on Instagram. Because I don't care. And live videos, if any of you have gone live in the past month or 2, I muted you. That's it. If you've gone live at all, I don't see your shit anymore. Stop going live. Then I have 30 live stories in the way of the 3 people's stories I actually fucking care about.
Right.
So anyways, you draw movie scenes and have people guess them.
Yep.
And I'm the best at it, clearly.
You're doing well.
I'm doing well.
I'm saying you're doing
Is
very
there
well.
anyone doing better?
There's a couple people on par with you.
On par?
Yeah. I'll say that I don't think there's a single person who has gotten every single one.
Yeah. Well,
no one's done that yet.
I haven't seen every movie that you've shared either. So like the Jaws one, I was like, it was a guy with a sniper rifle. I was like, I can't believe I'm getting this wrong. It's Enemy at the State, isn't it? Fuck. No, it's not.
There's a couple that I knew right away that I wanted to do, but then now it's just become, I'll ask Chris, like, what's the next movie I should do? And we'll kind of sit down and try to think either of a movie or a scene in the movie that isn't immediately recognizable.
Well,
I'm intentionally trying to make it harder.
Well, the last one was the easiest one.
The one I just did last night?
Yeah.
Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, the only one that was easier was Goodfellas.
Okay. That I did 3 scenes from Goodfellas before that one happened. Yeah. I initially tried to do, what was it? It was them in the diner.
Yeah.
And then that was just kind of too vague. And then I did, actually, maybe I did 4 scenes before it.
Oh.
I did the 2 of them sitting and laughing, and it's like
that would have been too obvious.
It looks, I'll show it to you. It's kind of bad. And then I did them in front of the Copacabana, and I got about a quarter of the way through that and it just was too much.
It's very detailed. There's a lot in there.
It was them haven't entered it yet. You can see the awning and there's the other cars and him kind of, you can tell from his profile that's him. And it's like, this is too elaborate. Then this is the point where I got Chris to try to help me figure out one. Then I did De Niro in the phone booth.
Yeah.
Which turned out pretty good.
That was the next one I thought of. That's so funny.
I have the full drawing of it.
Oh, shit.
And then the car Layla scene is like, honestly, maybe my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was Chris. I did the two and Chris
Why is it
picked
your
which
favorite
one.
part of the movie?
It's my favorite musical cue of a movie. It's just the perfect.
It's pretty good.
And
you're right.
You don't see it coming in that way. You don't expect the piano outro of Layla to start in right there and for that film. So anyway. And it's the whole pink car thing's hilarious. Like, you went out and got the car. Like, I told you to lay low. You got the pink car. So anyway, so that one, not everyone got. There were some different guesses in there.
What's the worst guess you've gotten for one?
I'm trying to think.
You know what? I think I'm doing the best because I don't think I've gotten any wrong. Maybe
right. You just haven't guessed on the ones that you don't know. Yeah, that's how I would play it. Some people just go for it, and I kind of admire that they're just
absolutely,
trying.
absolutely. You can't break a home run record if you don't swing the bat, type of thing.
Yeah,
like that was my favorite part of the movie Signs, is when he's like in town talking to his old like friend or whatever.
Yeah,
and the guy's like, "Oh, he has another record that no one talks about. He has the highest strikeout record." And I was like, "Damn, that." Didn't need to be in the movie, but M. Night was like, "Oh yeah, yes it does." Fucking put it in there. I remember why it's in the movie now.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Swing away.
Yeah.
What am I thinking?
Oh, so good. The last one I did, From the Room.
Yeah.
8 people guessed what's eating Gilbert Grape.
Okay. Doesn't Johnny Depp have long hair in that?
Kind of.
Okay.
It's like
I've never seen it.
You haven't seen the movie?
Either one.
You should,
yeah.
Oh, you should watch. Yeah. You should get on that. But yeah, I posted and I said this either says a lot about how I draw or how you guys view Johnny Depp, because this like I don't see it here, but yeah, and that was one too that whatever. There has to be a balance between like something that's iconic enough that you recognize it, but not so obvious.
I'm dreading the day you stop.
Really?
Because I know eventually.
Honestly, it's probably coming soon.
I know. That's why I'm dreading it.
Yeah, I've got work to do.
Cooler the movie. What are all the movies you think you've done?
Like a list of the ones I've done?
Yeah. Do you remember a couple?
I started with Dumb and Dumber, The Jerk, Father of the Bride.
The Jerk. I was the most proud of The Jerk because I had seen it once, and I was like, "That's
good work.
That's The Jerk."
Good.
Yeah.
Man, Goodfellas, Jaws, Forrest Gump, The Room, Super Bad.
That was too easy. I've gotten so arrogant with my responses now that whenever I know the movie, I just make a joke or reference it somehow.
Right, yeah.
So
I know I'm forgetting some. Happy Gilmore. I did that because we watched that movie the night before, and as soon as he came back on, I was like, I know this is.
What scene was that again? I don't remember.
Ben Stiller is the.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. The retirement
shut
home.
The hell up. That dude.
He's so funny in that.
That scene fucked me up as a kid, dude. Oh, Ben Stiller's so good.
Oh, and I did American Psycho, and everyone thought it was High Fidelity because it's him in front of the record
that
shelf.
Was the funniest. That's the one I was like, this one was too easy.
It was funny because
that's the one I said that for.
I thought it was kind of obvious, but then once everyone was saying High Fidelity, it's like, okay, I see where we're going, but then, the jerk part of me was like, but what about the poncho he's wearing?
Yeah, completely. But is it not obvious?
Whatever. I know because I just stared at it for 15 minutes.
That's when I knew I was a edgy, boring white guy when I was like, that's clearly American Psycho. You've never seen the fucking infamous scene? He kills Paul Allen? Come on. Oh, man. I need to do some sort of fucking drawing soon. It's so fun to, like, you do drawings and then I go, oh, cool, I don't have to draw today. I saw something good. Like, that's how I feel when I see
Dallas.
him. Like, what?
Come on.
That's the opposite. You're so inspirational. I do nothing. You're so demotivational. I love seeing your artwork.
Go try drawing a movie scene. Make me guess it.
Oh gosh, that would be. Well, I just don't have the realism. That's what I like about your art is how realistic it looks and how close to like actual frame and like distance and space it is. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but like everything looks the right size. And I don't know how to do that.
Again, that's all from going off of photos and looking at it.
There you go. That's fair. Fair enough.
Because there are things that you really just like, I didn't post it, but like the De Niro, you had to get like the mole and the eyebrow thing because
that's
if you don't have that.
That's a dead giveaway.
You have to have those things or else it's not going to work.
I think it would have been cooler. That's so disrespectful. I think it would have been cool. Another Goodfellas scene is I think it's almost like the same montage when they find his body in the meat locker, the meat freezer.
Right, yeah, that's right after. Yeah.
That would have been fucking. I'd draw that part. Okay, when they killed Tommy, it fucked me up. I was like, damn, he was like, because he knows it's happening, and you go, no, and he goes, oh no.
I'll say we quote that with Caleb on a regular basis.
Really?
Yeah, just go around that corner.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, I could be sick to my stomach right now. Have you seen the still of that scene?
Which
before?
Part, like the actual shot? Yeah. I saw it when I unintentionally while I was looking for the scene I was gonna draw.
Do you see the part where he's squeezing the blood pump on his shoulder?
Can you see that?
Yeah. So it's because I love practical effects, but you have to rig them somehow.
Right.
You can just he's squeezing his Joe Pesci's shoulder and it's pumping the blood and it's going up the top. And I was like, that is so fucking cool. Because I was always curious, how do they do that?
Right. Yeah.
Because his forehead comes open right there.
Right.
And the blood. It's great. Anyways, so this is a very visual podcast with no video. I'm sorry. I apologize. No images. I'm going to refer back to this now.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thankfully, I didn't have to get to all of these questions with Chris, and I got to repurpose some. So.
Oh, okay.
What are you looking forward to when all this lockdown shit's over?
I mean, on a personal level, looking forward to when we can just like go out to eat with our friends again.
You guys love doing that.
We love it.
You guys love doing
We have little routines that I miss.
Routines are healthy. They're important.
Yeah. And then I'm looking forward to working again and feeling like I have a purpose.
You're doing.
I think right now I'm in a pretty good place where I feel pretty good, but I'll say that I was definitely feeling the rut of like, I do not know what to do. And I kind of like I don't care. Because it's like, I was not the person who still got dressed every day and still did things. I just like pajamas, what I slept in, just keep.
Did showering go down quite a bit? Was that like unessential?
It kind of did for maybe the first week or two where it's like it wasn't as much of a priority. And then I kind of got it together where I was like, honestly, part of it was that Kristen Instagram survey of people asking like, has it gone up or down? And once I saw, I'm like, I need to get it together. Like I need to like be a person right now. But yeah, I just am very used to constantly having a thing to work on. And didn't realize that there's so much of a chain of like, well, if I'm not shooting a thing, I'm planning the thing I'm going to shoot, or I'm working on the thing I already shot. And when that's all gone, you just kind of don't really know what to do. And then you're like, there goes everything. And then I got really worried about weddings and like, is my whole life over because my job's over? And I think things are in a place where I feel better about it.
Did you ever think there'd be a time when like, oh, we're not doing weddings anymore? Weddings are done for the foreseeable future.
I think honestly, a lot of my fear and insecurity of everything came from looking at everyone's Facebook and Instagram posts. I wish that I had cut that out sooner because I got myself in this like kind of mental panic place of I saw other people posting what they thought was going to happen or something that happened to one person. Like I had someone I knew who like their clients were canceling everything and wanted all of their money back, which we're talking thousands of dollars that you already put into your rent, your mortgage, your kids' school, or, you know, whatever. And that made me start to freak out and worry it would happen to me. And it hasn't happened once. Yeah. Everyone's rescheduled and been very cool about everything. But I saw everyone posting that and I started getting worried. So yeah.
Fuck. You just gave me things to worry about that I wasn't worrying about. You know what? I did for a couple days just delete the apps from my phone.
That's smart.
It was great. It was so like I should do that all the time. But I would if I didn't have the podcast to kind of promote.
Right.
I would love to just not have social media.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I would love to be at a place in my life where all of this social media is like there's celebrities that just don't have it.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, but you're like a celebrity. Like we all like you. You have many likes on pictures. Why not share thing? And I'm just so, how do you not have that? Like Louis doesn't have social media. Chappelle doesn't have social media. What?
Yeah.
Like, what? You just get away with not having it?
Yeah.
Like I even get like a little like grumpy with like older people. They're in their like 50s or 60s. And I'm like, come on, man. What the fuck? Johnny Depp, you don't have a Instagram, you piece of shit.
I don't want to see Johnny Depp's Instagram.
Me neither. But you know what I mean?
I get it.
He's just the first creep that came to mind. I love Johnny Depp. Don't take that any other way. He's not really a creep, guys. I love him.
I love the flip of the Amber Heard situation.
Bitch! Sorry, I'm sorry. I did
love
not mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
I got so excited because it was a big fucking deal between me and my friends years ago, 2015. Really? I think it was 2015 or 2016 when I said, fuck Amber Heard, I side with Johnny Depp. Yeah. And everyone's like, what? And I'm like, you guys don't know what I know. And what I know is that I've been listening to Johnny Depp Doug Stanhope's podcast talk about Johnny Depp and them talk about how toxic Amber Heard is for months.
Right.
And then she files for divorce the day after his mom dies, and then to save face lies about him abusing her. You see, they proved that the fucking her bruise on her face from when he threw an iPhone at her was her makeup artist friend doing it.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, the bruise isn't even in the same place anymore, which I've had black eyes. They do move when they heal, but also wasn't even, it was not the same thing. Oh, and then to find out like, oh no, she was the abusive one. I was like, fuck, I don't even remember hearing about that part. This is amazing. His poor fingers. Oh my God. And then her mom dies. And I was like, oh, where? Oh, are someone going to file for divorce and then accuse you of abusing them to save face right now or no? Oh. Vindication.
Yeah.
It was so entertaining. It
was a weird gratification.
Well, I think I've never had a better like I told you so moment
really?
In my life, because there was friends that were just like, we're not speaking to you anymore. You're not a feminist. You don't side with the woman automatically without even hearing everyone's case. I'm like, oh, you're right. So I must not be a feminist. Like clearly. So, oh well, it was a big stink. It was like it was one of the last things that I ever cared about engaging on social media with, because now it's just I'm just doing it to fuck with people, just doing it to make a joke.
Right.
Like I have nothing but lightheartedness in my heart for it.
Yeah.
For shit on social media for the most part.
Yeah.
Other than that last Amber Heard thing I posted.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So what the fuck got us onto Johnny Depp? Oh, it's like celebrities and their social media. Yeah. Yeah, not being worried about that is a luxury I hope to afford someday. Like I hope I could just have like a publicist do that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like, here, you take care of my social media.
Yeah.
But no one, you don't get a publicist for not being in the public eye. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So once they invent those, I'm on it.
I mean, you could pay someone to be your publicist. You don't have to be famous to hire someone. You're just probably.
But I think I'd need to be famous or successful to afford one. Is what I'm saying.
Just like Craigslist.
Just Craigslist. I don't want some weird creep in my DMs. You sure do act rather flirtatiously with all of your male friends and very cold to all these female followers. What is this about? Shh. How much more money did they just exploit me for my DMs? You can't do that. You can't just hire a stranger off Craigslist.
Well, you wanted a publicist. So.
Okay, whatever. Listen, are you doing elopement photo shoots?
I haven't yet. I would.
You would.
If someone wanted that, yeah. But
I think, because people are like, no, I think people get married just so they can have a big party. Like the wedding, because now that weddings are not happening, I'm hearing a lot of people aren't getting married.
What I think the split that I've seen is that there are people who are putting off the whole thing, and then there are people who are still getting like their marriage certificates, or they're eloping just like with, their parents or whoever's around, but they still are just going for the wedding. They're just putting it off.
Okay.
So yeah. We'll see what happens, but it looks like it's just my winter and next spring are going to be full of this year's weddings.
Jesus.
So,
are you excited for that? Are you going to be like, I can't wait to be slipping on cash?
the thing that is kind of funny is that last fall I would have just done anything for this period of time. I just between all the weddings I was doing and between all of the your own backyard stuff that was happening, I just it was an overload of just constant stuff happening. And I would have just loved 2 months of doing nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And at this point it's okay,
I'm over it.
I'm trying to remember that and be grateful for it's I have this downtime, but I do miss just working in general. I'm looking forward to some aspects of it. I think it's going to be a little crazy. I think in September I'm going to be exhausted and look back on this and be like, why didn't you enjoy that more?
There's a lot of things I really appreciate about the time in the world right now.
Right.
I feel like the freedom of there's certain luxuries that being in America that this kind of thing has afforded.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I'm on unemployment right now, which any other time I'd be like, that'd be my biggest secret. I'd be like, no, I would never. I look for a job. I'm not lazy. But now it's oh, my job's not happening right now. So
right. Yeah.
If I get now, it's just oh, I don't spend $100 on gas a week now.
Sure.
Now I can buy movies and rent them and type of thing, or just little conveniences, little
right.
luxuries. But it staved off real hard.
Yeah.
In April, and shopping has given me no. That's when I know I'm depressed, when shopping won't cheer me up.
Doesn't do it for you.
when I could buy anything I want.
Yeah.
And don't.
Right.
When I'm I'd rather just not. How sad is that? Consumerism can't even cheer me up. Not even a real American. Stresses me out. But I'm gonna miss this. There's gonna be a lot of this that it's like a summer vacation with nothing to do.
It is. That's a good way to put it. I'll say that I would enjoy this time way more if there wasn't the paranoia of getting a deadly infection.
Yeah.
That having to go out and get a thing, it's I am so paranoid about my index finger grazed that pole, so is it all over?
I know.
That kind of thing is, if that was gone, I would be soaking this up, I think, a lot more. But because of that, I'm just have this constant stress in the back of my head. Or we get a package in the mail, it's okay, take out the box, then wash my hands and take the thing out and put this away in the corner where I'll take it out later. That kind of thing, just...
Well, at least you're being careful.
I'm trying.
It sounds like you actually care and you're being careful and you're aware, because I'll go out mask gloved up,
right.
And there's people who just
there's people
care.
just going for it right now.
Part of me is you go, girl, when they're doing it, but then part of me is also you son of a bitch, you're fucking killing my grandma.
I just I don't know. I can't shut off that part of my brain.
That's like
I'm just like, yeah.
Well, that's good. That's a survival thing.
I hope so, because it's taking a toll on me.
The people who are like completely like, no, I'm over it. Like, we're just going, like, I'm out. No mask, no gloves. And I'm like, dude, I want to wear gloves and hand sanitize like when there's no pandemic.
Right.
I'm such a fucking germaphobe. It's funny to think like the things that I'm doing that aren't sanitary or like, no, like, it's funny to think like, oh, now I'm considered gross for like touching my door handle.
Right.
That I would always touch.
Yeah.
But other people are like Lysoling their door handle type of thing. I'm like, okay. So there's like little exceptions people make, little lines people make, and that's really interesting to see how people divide themselves.
Yeah.
And see how people's like standards change.
Yeah. I think that I think part of what made me so stressed out in the beginning is because when it was first kind of coming on the cusp of everyone talking about it, I was the person who's like, we're overreacting. Yeah. You guys are too. Just like, you're being crazy. And I didn't go buy all this stuff. I totally just like this will be gone in a week. And it wasn't. And then I was going to every store looking for, the milk and eggs and toilet paper, and there was nothing. And
I have 40 burger patties and 5 steaks in my freezer right now.
How are you fitting that in that freezer?
Barely. Like I panicked and bought meat. Yeah. Because now there's a beef shortage, and something like 1 out of every 5 Wendy's is out of beef. Wendy's. Well, they use like real beef. They're not. It's not like frozen, so they don't have all these like back stocks. So like their food supply chain has now have some weak links in it. Yeah. So that sucks. And I'm like, whew. If you guys are looking for meat, sorry, I took it all. It's in my freezer. Right. So. Yeah. I don't think that. Never mind. I kind of lost my train of thought.
That's okay. I'll say that I have different levels of the fear of everything, and that I've noticed that every time I'm by myself for an extended period of time and I'm thinking about it, I'll get kind of worked up about it. And like after 5 minutes of just telling Chris, like, I'm really worried about this thing, you'll just bring her right back around to reality. Yeah. That it's like, oh, okay. And I just like need that voice of reason. I'm like, you're right. Yeah. It's going to be okay. But I'll just by myself get into a place of like, why didn't I buy all the things?
Yeah. Yeah. There's part of me that's like, I'm not prepared enough. Why didn't I do that? I have all the time and money in the world to prepare for something right now, and I'm not doing that. I'm being stupid. Why am I doing that? But then there's part of me that will like do it secretly. Yeah. And I'll like hide it from myself. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do have like an unnecessary amount of zip ties and water bottles and things like that. Just an example. Okay. I'm just saying. And then
why is that the first thing you said?
Because it's a lot better than saying, oh yeah, I do have extra ammunition and guns. it's just better to say that. It's just more affable. But I'm so used to like shit hitting the fan in my life. Yeah. That this is like, oh, thank God, it's back to normal. Like, that's how I feel, is like, oh, cool. Everyone's worried about something. This is like this is where I thrive. This is like, I'm fucking 30, flirty, and thriving right now. Cause I'm like, one of my earliest memories is my dad putting on Red Dawn and going, see this? This is what you need to do. You need to be prepared to go camp. And like, I'm like 5, maybe 6. And my dad's telling me like, people are going to come in the country. They're going to come kill us. You need to have camping supplies and food supplies and guns and just all this shit. And so I've always had this in the back of my head. I'm like, oh my God, everything's going to fucking go down and everything's going to be crazy. And there's going to be people come hurt me and I better defend myself. And so this is finally, I'm like, oh, whew, he was right. It was just like validating.
I was born for this.
I was born for this.
Have I got some Facebook statuses for you folks?
Don't worry. I'm going to share something that's going to cover all of this. That's so good. That's so true, though. But like, I'd feel like I've been evicted and my mom's lost her job and I've like, slept in bad conditions before and like my parents separated and loved ones die. And I'm just so like, this is like, oh yeah, this is what we do. This is normal now. Like this to me is like, you guys are freaking out. Like a lot of you guys are like extra freaking out. I'm freaking out, but like not about the things you are.
Right. Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah. I get it.
So I don't know. I'm looking forward to the pandemic of what's the word I'm looking for? It's a good word. It's a positive sounding word. I think that there's going to be such a flourish of positivity and wealth and market growth and economic boom after this. And I'm really excited for that. Also really excited for just this kind of decade or like generation, whichever, just kind of being united on something.
Yeah.
This shared experience.
Sure. Yeah.
Because even the people who are being very divisive and people you may agree with or disagree with, I still feel like they're closer than they've ever been because it's still the experience of what's going on being shared.
Right. Yeah. It's a universal problem that, people need to.
Not everyone. So a lot of people would kind of ponder what event that was going to be.
Right.
Whether it be aliens invading or someone invading our country or a big disease. And I would listen to like these really long podcasts and people talk about it and speculate on it. And disease was one of them. Right. And disease like, this is going to happen someday where it's going to be a big I know I've heard a podcast. I know I've heard it on a fucking Joe Rogan Experience probably like 3 years ago where someone's talking about something like this happening. Right. And then I can feel, I love the shared experience thing. Yeah. It's just like the day after 9/11. Yeah. Everyone's American that day. It's beautiful. I could feel how badly I was going to miss it when this started. Like March, like late March was the best feeling. That's like, was like the most excited I was the whole time. Cause I was like, this is awesome. I don't have to go to work. Shit's going crazy. Everyone's talking about the same thing. Memes are lit. It is on. Dude, everyone was funny for a week. That was the best. That was the only time I'd ever been online and went, oh, you guys are funny. Cool. Like where everyone on my friends list had something funny to say. And then a week later, every point was beaten to death with a stick. Yeah. In these uncertain times. and now everyone's back to like hating each other. Yeah, no. I could already feel things getting back to normal. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. We don't agree. I don't fall on either side of the argument of lockdown or open up.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings either way.
I have very mixed feelings either way.
And I get why it's mixed because
it's nuanced and we're human and there's no black or white answer to it.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's preposterous is what people believe one way or the other.
We don't know. There's no correct answer.
We don't know. It's terrifying. That's the terrifying part because it's like, wait, what if we do open up and then everyone sneezes on each other and then a billion people die? And I'm like, well, I mean, that'd be great for the air quality, but I would miss the rest of my family for sure. Me being cocky, thinking I'd live through it. Like,
I'll get through this.
Yeah. Well, partly why my uncle died was because of this coronavirus thing. He had cancer and he was scheduled for more scans in his body. And they had to postpone the scans because of the corona. And by the time they eventually got his body scanned, he was lit up, had cancer all throughout his body. So he died because of that. He didn't get these scans because of all this coronavirus shit going on. So it's like this really mixed feeling of like, fuck, is it coronavirus's fault because they couldn't have done anything had they scanned him, or is it everyone's fault for not letting people out so he could have gotten these scans because those people could have been? So it's weird because it's like weird. I don't even know if there would have been a solution to that situation. Yeah, so to speak.
I was reading last night that universally, ER doctors have seen a huge drop in people coming in or calling 911 for heart attacks and strokes. And there's the whole point of the article was, if that happens to you, please still call, because if you decide, oh, I'm not going because either they have a bigger priority or because I'm afraid of catching something by going, you're just prolonging the damage to yourself.
Yeah.
So please come in, because they're noticing the huge drop, and that's pretty much the answer, that people just decided, oh, I'm not going to take care of this. And they're like, please still do. Like,
everyone just turned into a man over there, and they're like, no, I'm not going.
I mean, the thing that I keep remembering is that I have several friends who are pregnant right now, and they're about to have if they haven't already, a baby during this time. It's like, if they're willing to go do that, like, go in for your thing. Just seriously. I think that I understand that there are things going on, but it's like, I think that they have at least enough control to be like, okay, this section, like, okay to go in. We're, it's not like there's just stuff dripping off the walls everywhere that, is going to like get you sick. It's like, whatever. I think people still need to have common sense. I don't know necessarily what that means in all cases, but
it's going to be so cool to see what procedures end up becoming normal in daily life after this. Like, people, I feel like there's going to be people that will always kind of have a mask ready, always have gloves, always be clean. There's something I'm afraid of is all the hand sanitizer and all of the people's immunities going down because they're not exposing themselves. Because I feel like that's more detrimental. I'm not a fucking doctor or a scientist, but in my head, it would make more sense to get like little exposures and build your immunities up a little bit, type of thing, and to have like my brother bites his nails and has bitten his nails every single day of his life. Yeah. I've never known him to be sick, ever. He never got sick. I have no idea if he has any idea what a flu is. And it dawned on me. I was like, oh, because he's like bacteria and up. Like, he probably has the craziest amount of
daily dosage.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Like, he just has this perfect like gut biome, like functioning, all this like probiotic flora flourishing in his system, because he's just like, no, I already got it. Like, I have the antibodies. Yeah. They're in the VIP section. So that scares me. So there's part of me where I'm like, how long do we stay in before it hurts us to stay in? Right. That's what I think. Yeah. That's what I not think, but I'm like, I think maybe that'll be happening. I don't think anything very compelling anyways, but just a thought. Yeah, no. All right, we can move on. It's a depressing subject, and I know people are probably so sick of hearing
overload
it.
of.
Jesus. Okay, who's your favorite serial killer?
I don't have one.
You don't have a favorite? No. You don't have like hashtag Bundy? No?
No. And honestly, like, it's usually like a turn off to me when I see people posting like about their favorite serial killer murderer. It's weird to me. It's a
big like edgelord thing. It's something like like these freaking goth queen chicks do, and
it's always women. It's always about how they're somehow attractive.
First of all, that is sexist, and I didn't say it.
Truth.
So, okay, yeah. Well,
I have yet to see.
I post about it. Thanks. No?
You never know if you're serious or not, though.
I'm not. I'm sorry.
But yeah. And people think that because I enjoy, like, oh, you love true crime documentaries. It's like, I love a certain niche of them. And that does not mean that I love the case. You're not
fascinated by, like, serial killers.
Yeah, it's,
Well, I mean, I kind of thought that even. That's why I had the question. I mean, also because it's something I feel like I could bond over people with. There's Wesley Hill?
Yeah.
I had him on the podcast, and one of the things that kind of sparked my friendship even further with him was when he talked about serial killers and horror movies and things like that on Are We Okay?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was like, oh, fucking geez, this person, like, and then I would talk about it, and then more people would talk to me about it, type of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, everyone has like a favorite serial killer, just like they have like a favorite movie star. Like, it's totally normal, type of thing.
Yeah.
So excuse me.
I'll say that
I don't have one.
I'll say that there's a documentary called The Jinx that I pushed on everyone for like 2 years after we watched it. And I got really hooked on that because the documentary played a part in solving the case. And
Wow.
I loved that. And the main subject of it, the guy who did everything, you get weirdly attached to him,
Yeah.
where it's like he's a total weird creep guy, but there's something like a little endearing about him.
Yeah.
And I find that fascinating in a way.
You've told me about the Jinx before.
I've told everyone about the Jinx. I have a shirt for the Jinx.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Which is on the shirt is what solved the mystery.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, no spoilers. I'm going to write this down.
Yeah,
Because
write it, yeah.
I can't recall if we talked about it last time you were here.
It's very possible. So, but yeah.
But it's ringing a distant bell.
Mm-hmm.
It's ringing a Kristen bell here.
But yeah, that's every documentary I've loved is just as much because of the film, if not the case.
Okay.
You know. So.
Okay.
I don't even know if I can name that many serial killers.
I can name a couple. Just the big ones.
Yeah, same. Yeah. And I couldn't tell you really a lot about them.
I guess when I say that, when I ask people that kind of question, what I really am trying to find out is what fascinates you the most about them, type of thing.
Yeah.
Because I know there's some serial killers where I'm like, oh, I mean, there's a lot of people that have killed people. What makes you special, type of thing.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, oh, your number's bigger or what?
Oh,
So,
it's like the nickname,
the nickname's a big one.
or you know, the little thing they had.
Yeah, like
I dressed up as a clown.
Yeah,
Like,
that,
you know.
yeah, whatever that was, John Wayne Gacy, about. So
Right. Not huge into that. I will say this isn't related to serial killers. There are certain things, I hope that you do this so I don't sound like a weirdo, that I will go back to regularly on like Wikipedia
Yes.
and reread about that
Yes.
are just weird things
fuck yes.
that I just like keep hoping, I guess, that they update it with new information.
Just something.
I don't know.
Something.
But there's kind of like nowhere else to go, and I just kind of go back to those
love
things. And
going back to Wikipedia articles like that.
yeah, there's weird little things like that.
It's like a good movie. You're like, I gotta go watch it again. I gotta go look at it again. I gotta go see it again.
The
love
Twilight Zone movie disaster.
Yeah, that's one. The helicopter and everything. I've read about
The
that.
entire
Yeah.
the case following it, like the fact that even managed to happen. The
So
original
fucked up.
ending of Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, I don't know that one.
They, I'm not even like a fan really of the movie or
Yeah.
the musical or anything.
Wow.
I've seen the movie. We went and
Sacrilege.
saw. But they made the film and they filmed an entire like 30-minute ending to it. Wow. Spent millions on it, and it was so poorly received by test audiences because both of the main characters died and it didn't have a happy ending. And so they scrapped it and reshot a new ending. And so this old ending is just like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's floating around and no one's seen it. And there's like different versions of it floating. That fascinates me. The Max Headroom TV satellite thing.
Dude, like that, I need to fucking know. Do you guys have any, forget the fucking making of a murderer. I need to know if there's updates on this, god damn it.
That thing, like, yeah, things like that, I just want like some kind of weird answer. And I remember reading about that and bringing up to Chris, I'm like, do you know about these? Like, oh yeah. And it's like, this is, finding out there's some mutual Wikipedia reading happening.
Oh.
But, yeah, just little weird things like that. I'll go back to every once in a while. The Michael Jackson case, all of them.
Did you watch that documentary that everyone
did,
talked about?
yeah.
I think it was you guys told us not to watch it.
No, we would have told you to watch
Fuck,
it.
who was it? Damn.
I mean, yeah,
I just want to watch it because I know it's going to have a banger soundtrack.
it doesn't.
Damn it. That's the shitty thing about that's the only
How would they get the rights to Michael Jackson
Michael Jackson
music?
documentary that doesn't have a great soundtrack is
Why would they release the rights to someone trying to talk about how horrible he is?
No, Beat It is not appropriate for this documentary at all.
The Michael Jackson thing fascinates me on several levels. The one that I have this internal commentary about that I feel like I've thought about posting about it, but I just can't. I'll say it on here
because only fringe people are listening.
they're gonna have to click like 50 minutes in anyway. Is that we're living in a time where the Me Too movement is so prevalent. We're willing to just cancel whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Anyone at the drop of an allegation.
Yeah.
Believe everyone, like don't watch their movies, don't support them. Michael Jackson has had huge cases, not just somebody coming out and saying something, but actual court cases with documentation, interviews, everything against him. And I'll go into Target, I'll be at a wedding, I'll be on the radio, and you hear Michael Jackson constantly. We still have no issue with listening to Michael Jackson. I understand. I don't give a shit either way. I'm not into, I still watch Woody Allen movies.
Yeah.
I'll still watch any comedian, actor, whatever. I'm fine separating those things. But we're all still okay with this. Is it because we just can't let go of Michael Jackson music? Is it because it's men and boys making the allegations and we don't take them as seriously as women?
I didn't even
Why are we
consider
still
that.
okay with it?
I just went against my own ethics here. I didn't even consider that.
I think that's part of it.
I think that might be part of it. I think you got, that's a big point to make, and I think that is a very valid statement.
The Leaving Neverland, Finding Neverland, different film. It came out and immediately everyone's so quick to be like, that they're lying. That didn't happen. This tells us this didn't happen. This is the BuzzFeed list of 30 reasons why it didn't happen.
Well, you know why? Men lie.
Ha.
Yeah, that's why.
Women lie.
No.
Women are master manipulators. I think that we're all on the same playing field. And
Yeah.
I think that there's something happening where these men who, whether you believe them or not, they're clearly traumatized. And I think
need to
that
watch
it's
this fucking thing.
Why aren't you taking this? Why are you still okay listening to Michael Jackson? And everyone else will just immediately drop, will never talk about again. But everyone's still totally okay with this.
Well, the alternative, you have to go to the argument through the back door. That may be a horrible choice of words. Let me rephrase that. I'm not trying to be funny. I think you need to unravel it the other way and think, who do you not whose craft or career or art do you now not consume because of something you found out about them?
No one's.
There, exactly.
Right.
It's such a basis of who's consuming it, because the people that I know that are canceling and not doing things and not watching any things,
right,
will do that about any. They'll find reasons to not enjoy something or to not appreciate something.
Yeah.
And what that says about them, I don't know necessarily.
Yeah.
I could just surmise so many. I just have assumptions.
Yeah.
But I can't think of something to where I don't watch or enjoy or listen to or read their product because I found out something badly they've done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't think of it. You'd have to be, people even read Mein Kampf.
Right.
Which is like a horrible book.
Sure.
Bunch of propaganda. It's fucking awful. But people will still read Hitler's book. It's still on Amazon.
Right. Yeah.
Where people draw lines is depending solely on them.
Sure.
And I wouldn't read Mein Kampf because who needs to be subjected to that shit anyways? But I'll listen to a Michael Jackson record.
Yeah.
I love his music, you know? I still you know what the fucking shitty thing is? I can't watch a goddamn movie without seeing Harvey Weinstein's name in the credit at some points. Yeah. He's on everything. Yeah. And I'm like, ugh. That's someone that if he had something specific, like films he made, like Woody Allen films, like if he had his own films that were, this is a Harvey Weinstein screenplay. Sure. He wrote this, he directed this. I would not watch those. I'd be like, yuck, I'm not doing that. But he's on every Tarantino movie.
Funding everything.
He's funding every great movie. I will watch those. I will enjoy those and just be like, gross, his name. And he's got to be Bill Cosby. I was listening to Bill Cosby jokes recently. I was like, I have to know how funny this fucker really was because everyone loved him. Everyone loved him. And I got really disturbed by what I was hearing.
Because you were hearing it through that lens.
Yeah. Because I was hearing it and I'm like, there's a darkness to what he's saying and no one knows.
Right.
I'm hearing them laugh on this track. They have no idea. He was talking about how he it was a joke about how he wants to watch Gunsmoke and his daughter walks up and wants to watch Foofy the dog or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, and he's like being kind of like, a grumpy old man. And usually it'd be like, oh yeah, who isn't a fucking grumpy old man and wants to, watch this show and fuck these little kids. But I'm hearing it and I'm like, this guy, it's the evil coming out and this little grump voice. It's I fucking need the darkness to come out because I have to put this facade on for all the times I'm raping people. Fucking turns out to be like the biggest monster.
Right.
That's so fucking crazy. But that joke was still funny.
Yep.
Fuck. It's such and it's just like, where do I draw? I'm not good. I don't really care for that style of humor anyways. It's too clean, but like, where do you like, I don't know where I draw the line of like, I can't like,
I think that
enjoy something.
People are.
Thanks for letting me just like shart out of my mouth for 10 minutes. There was like 3 times when I was like, please say something. I'm going nowhere with this.
Well, I think that what happens is that it's being kind of drilled into everyone that you're a good person if you get on the bandwagon and boycott the person or the thing, and that maybe there's a lot of things that people aren't invested in or weren't in the first place. And so it's easy for them to be like, yeah, I'll never go see a blank movie again because they weren't going to anyway.
Yeah.
But then I think the true
now
test
they
is
have
when it's
status because they say,
right,
I'm not going to do this thing.
They're not doing it themselves.
Yeah.
They didn't make a decision to themselves like, I'm just never going to do that. They posted about it. They told people about it. They told other people that they need to do it. But then what's going to happen when it's their very favorite thing?
Yeah. I don't know any Louis C.K. fans that stopped enjoying Louis C.K.
Right. It's all the people who
that weren't watching him anyway, and they're like, I knew he was gross, and it's like, you just didn't like him anyways. Fuck off. That's stupid. Stop subjugating me to your fucking agenda.
I think that it's a weird line, and I think that this entire movement, while whatever intentions are grounded in it, that it's going to reach a breaking point where there's nothing left. Because the amount of things that we're taking from people, what they've said or what anything, that it's like you're just not going to have that many things left to watch anymore.
It sucks because it's like when everyone is being called a Nazi or everyone's being called racist for saying things. What are you going to do when we find real Nazis and real racists when you've beaten the subject to death? It doesn't have any like oomph to it. It's a powerful word that should be used in a powerful way, and now it's just been
right, yeah. It's just a regular insult.
What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, but it's just run of the mill.
Yeah. And so I think that there's very legitimate cases, allegations that run the gamut. I absolutely think that there are ones that are true, and I think there are people that don't either deserve to not have a court case over it or that deserve to be in prison. I absolutely think that, but I think that there's a huge imbalance of how people react to everything, that we're not either giving people due process like they deserve or that we're giving other people leeway because they're not that bad of a person. They didn't do it. And that it's completely imbalanced. And it mostly lands on men. That they're the ones that are paying the price for it. That just because they're a man,
but I
that
will
it lands
say
on
this.
them.
I'm not watching any Amber Heard movies anytime soon.
Yeah, name 3.
Aquaman, Rum Diary, and Aquaman 2. Like, I can't tell you how fucking irritated I get with myself when I'm watching a movie and I'm like, dang, she's hot. And I'm like, who is that? I'm like, oh fuck, it's Amber Heard, damn it. I'm a traitor. And I give myself 3 lashes and I'm like, you're a fucking bad person. And it's just like, oh, people do that too when they enjoy things. They're like, oh, this is a good song. What is this? It's Michael Jackson. That's who. You fucking traitor. Like, I bet that happens to people all of the time. Because it happens to me, and I have a very, very limited amount of like, no, I'm not going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
How do we get on that? Can we just have lighthearted talks, Allie? Jeez. We were talking about doodles and Goodfellas and movies. What happened? Adam Sandler. It started with Adam Sandler, and now that conversation. We could keep that conversation going for a while. I'm not going to.
We're gonna get in trouble.
We're gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna say something stupid, and then you're gonna be associated with
already
me saying
like
something
rewinding in my head, being like, okay, how bad?
Right.
How bad does that sound? But what are you gonna do?
I've only had one podcast where I've ever had to go back and remove something.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. How bad was it?
Not bad at all.
Oh.
It was just yeah. I can't repeat it now, but it was taken off. I'll tell you after. It wasn't bad at all. It was just like someone was like, maybe that wasn't the most respectful thing to have said. I want that out of there. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fair. Like I don't shouldn't have fucking said it, but okay. I'm just teasing. If you were a color, what color would you be?
Really?
Yeah, it was just a question I thought of the other week. Like what energy do you think you give people?
Geez,
like on the color palette?
You give me a color.
I'm really trying to make this like be like fun and lighthearted, but so people that are thinking of this in like some like weird ethnic thing, please stop being gross. Well, because I said that and I was like, I'm not trying to get people to verbally blackface right here, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know. Like sometimes I feel like I give a really like dark blue energy, and then sometimes I'm like, I'm the stupidest orange color you could have ever thought of, like the like Sunny D of dumb right now color. That's how I feel sometimes. And sometimes I'm talking to someone and I'm like, I just shifted into olive green intellectual, you know? What color?
If this was your Are We Okay podcast, the title would be the Sunny D of Dumb.
Sunny D of Dumb. Yeah. Well, I do that too. I pick phrases that the guest has and I'll put them in there.
I've seen you do that.
Yeah.
I know where you came from.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? That's one of those influences that I didn't even realize I was taking.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's definitely where that came from, isn't it? Because I like the way you did it, but it's good. Like when you watch a movie and they say the title, and you're like,
love that moment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also, if the movie says the title, it's instantly like a dumber movie to me.
Is it?
It's instantly like, I
guess I am Casper the Ghost.
Wow, this really is Avengers Age of Ultron. If they said that, it's just fucking stupid. I am Iron Man. At the end, really? I watched the whole movie and then you said, I am Iron Man. Fuck. Damn it. Those are the only movies I could think of.
You have your stack of VHSs. That's where I.
Would you say
Casper?
That's perfect. I know that was so good though. I didn't even expect that.
It was painful to imagine that happening. I don't know. Maybe I'm a pink. I don't know.
Pink?
I can see the change in colors though.
What do you? Well, yeah, because I think people, as their moods change, we're like human mood rings, and I think we kind of give off a kind of energy, and you can kind of colorize those in your head. I feel bad for colorblind people; they have no idea what the fuck we're talking about. Do you need some more water?
I'm doing okay.
You doing okay?
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah.
Think you're like give a pink vibe off?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm going to think about that later and be like, that was stupid. I should have said
stupid.
this.
Who likes pink? What am I, legally blonde? Okay. That was a horrible question. I'm never asking anyone that question
again. It was really
again.
unexpected. I'll say that I didn't.
I like that.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming from you.
What do you do to feel normal when you're during this fucking era? Because like I have to do something that I usually do. Like I haven't gone to Taco Bell in over a month.
Good
and
for
that's
you.
very bizarre for me.
Yeah.
And like I got in my car the other night to go, and it felt exactly like how I used to go get in my car and go to Taco Bell before work. And it was like, oh my God, I remember what real life felt like. It felt like we've all been under a spell.
Yeah.
And then for a moment I got like broken of the spell and I was like, oh shit, guys, don't drink that. It's Kool-Aid. Don't do it. Like I was trapped and oh man, did that fucking hurt to like walk out of that, to like not feel normal anymore.
Right.
And the new normal, that shit. I even have routines that I had a month ago that I don't now that I miss. I'm like, fuck, everything's changing.
Yeah.
Everything. What do you do to feel normal?
I'll say that when we have breakfast and dinner,
Really?
it feels normal.
Yeah, meal
because
times.
that's usually what we still do what we normally did. I mean, to a certain extent. And in that time, I forget that anything else is going on. It's when it requires going out in any way, whether it's going to a place or just whatever. You can't go for a walk anymore casually.
Well, can you?
Okay, I'll say we live near a very popular walking area.
Yeah.
So we see a lot of people. So maybe, I guess, if you live in a regular neighborhood, it's not the same. But
Well, I live in close quarters with a lot of people, so like,
right, yeah,
I'm already trying to avoid neighbors.
Sure,
Anyways,
yeah.
because I'm like, all of you are loud and you all smell, and no one's neighborly. This is horrible, And some of you cook amazing food, and then other people don't cook at all. I can tell. It's sad.
you just smell the garlic wafting through the air.
Yeah, just like beautiful spices, and I'm like, why can't you be as nice as the smell is right now?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say that during that time, feeling pretty good about things, but I don't know what else.
I mean,
honestly. I hope that's adequate.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Like, I'm genuinely curious what people like to do to feel normal during these times, because I am cool with sitting on the couch watching shit and I don't feel productive. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty normal. Being lazy, not doing anything. That's good. I feel normal. Like, and it's like, oh shit, that sucks. Like, I do something toxic to feel normal. Fuck me. Really? That's horrible. I'm getting like new little like quirks where I'm like, I have to have a box of Pop-Tarts in my house. Otherwise, like, ugh, clearly the world's going to shit if I can't get Pop-Tarts. So I have
Do you toast your Pop-Tarts?
Never.
Okay.
I did once. I did with one pair of Pop-Tarts. I did.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I used to do? I used to put butter on toasted Pop-Tarts. I only have the brown sugar cinnamon ones. I don't fuck with any other ones.
All right.
My dad did that as a kid. We were watching Red Dawn. He's like, here, prepare for
Was Red Dawn really this big of a part of your life?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This was like Red Dawn. It was like him showing me. Well, also, I think that's just part of the memory was having toasted Pop-Tarts with butter on them on this coffee table in front of this big screen where Red Dawn was viewed in his apartment where I did not live.
Yeah.
So it was like very vivid.
Sure.
So I definitely connect those two.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I have 48 Pop-Tarts. And I'm like, I'm clearly prepared for more, Dad. Fuck. I just realized I think you know how you have a dream and it makes sense to do something in the dream and you wake up and you're like, why, what kind of wires got crossed there that I had to go get the snake out of the cobwebs to make my grandma safe? That made no sense. That made no fucking sense. But in your dream, you're like, I'm saving her.
Right,
like,
yeah.
What? That's what the fucking Pop-Tarts are now. Damn it. I just realized this is really therapy for me. I might not even release this episode. This is just to make me feel better about my dreams, clearly.
I hope that you just cut out all of these and it just starts off with like, haha, Adam Sandler. And then immediately, what color do you think you are? Okay, bye. Like,
Patreon for the real shit.
swipe up to hear unreleased 2 hours and 45 minutes. Cosby allegations.
Why Michael Jackson isn't really that bad of a guy.
And why I have Pop-Tarts. Yeah.
Okay, I need to use the bathroom. We'll be right back.
Okay, go for it.
We're back. Just like that. Nice and seamless.
Perfect.
I'm actually trying to put a Cash App plea in between in a commercial.
Like give Dallas money.
Yeah, but also that feels kind of gross. So you're like, yeah, it does. You're right. Like, hey, give me money for this. Hey, this thing I gave to you. Now pay for it. I'm going to guilt you into paying me money for it. I'm just trying to find a way to like earn money off this somehow. That'd be cool. Just to like have like to make a profit from something you really like to do.
Oh, tell me about it.
Is pretty cool.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why people have a hard time finding jobs they like because they don't just make jobs for things you like to do. that
You got to
can
make the
get
job
that
yourself.
easily. You got to make the job yourself.
Yeah.
We talked about that last time. It was so fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not going to retread old waters here, but okay.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
What do you think you would be doing if you weren't a wonderful photographer?
You know, I originally set out to be a film director, so maybe in some universe I'm doing that. Mm-hmm. Love the idea of being a movie critic.
Really?
That's like
I was just talking shit about you like an hour ago.
It's a weird, like, I don't know why. I don't know. It would be very enjoyable to me.
Because you get to watch movies and
Because when
discuss them?
I'm watching a film anyway, I'm making like weird little notes in my head and have this commentary going. So just to be able to like make that a whole thing, do something I love doing in my free time, and just like, here's my opinion, and that's all you get from me. There's something I like that.
Can you hear that?
What do you hear?
It sounds like the noise they made at the mic.
Really?
Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I fixed it. This is fine. I heard it. Maybe no one else heard it. It's fine. We're back. Just
Okay.
relax, people.
Yep.
For fuck's sake. She was talking to this wonderful... So you'd give your opinion and people about movies, and people would consume that, and you would get paid to do that.
Yeah. I don't even like the idea of them consuming it. I just like the idea of getting to write it, and that's my job. That I could found a career on that.
Would you ever be afraid of hurting someone's feelings?
You know, I think no right now, but probably, you know, if I was in that position, I can see myself getting that way.
Okay.
But, you know, I don't know. I wanted to be a zoologist when I was a kid. That was like my number one thing I wanted to do. But, yeah, didn't.
Do you have a favorite animal?
I have a lot of favorite animals.
Okay,
I'm a
what
huge-
animal
yeah.
do you not care if it goes extinct? If you could make any animal extinct, what would it be?
Are we talking like mammals, or do like insects count? Because
Let's do both, because
Okay.
fuck murder hornets, apparently.
I'll say people are gonna get mad.
I don't care. This is the Bad Etiquette podcast. This is where people get mad. You know what happens? They get mad and they don't tell me because they already know when they bought the fucking ticket that you're going to take the ride. Just piss them off. Okay.
I'll say I understand that every creature has a place in our ecosystem that you take something out, you mess with things. I understand the purpose of bees. But bees and wasps, the nests that they make are the most disgusting thing. I cannot look at pictures of them. There's a wasp nest in our like carport where we live, and I won't look at it. I won't acknowledge it. It absolutely just disturbs me to the deepest part of myself. And I'll even like anything that has holes in it.
Okay. Is that why?
That whole thing
Okay.
I relate to
Good pun.
strongly. But yeah, so just for my own never risking having to look at that again, would take those out. I don't know.
Damn. I did not expect that at all. Wasps, I've taken wasp nests out of things and gotten attacked by them. I don't give a
they're
fuck what
horrible.
happens to wasps. They can die. But bees, like cute little honey bees that make honey and like make like our food
That's the
supply.
thing, is that bees
that's
on their
crazy.
own, I'm not afraid of bees. I've never been stung, which is maybe part of it.
Must be nice. Damn.
But I don't mind them. If they fly by, I won't, you know, doesn't bother me. But they're seeing hives. My parents had a tree in their backyard that got infested with bees, and just seeing bees piled on other bees, awful.
So you can't watch Candyman?
I have not seen that.
Okay.
But-
Well, there's a remake coming out and it's going to have bees in it. Don't watch it.
Okay.
But it's a Jordan Peele movie, so
Oh.
if you don't, we're going to
Is that
judge you.
the thing that people are saying that the monster is like the scariest thing they've ever seen? I saw some movie that he did that is coming out, and that the trailer showed a monster that it was like talking about how it's the most horrifying monster you've ever seen. Is that this thing? Is this something else?
I don't think I've heard that. I don't know.
Okay. I saw it
Interesting.
yesterday. I'll look it up later and see if I'm thinking of the right movie.
I got to write it down. That's so weird. And is Jordan Peele?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah.
I mean, what movies scared you the most?
Okay, so I had never seen The Exorcist, and I went into it kind of like coronavirus.
You guys are overreacting. Yeah. Oh shit, I'm out of toilet paper and there's shit everywhere.
Where I was just very confident that this was an older horror movie that everyone's making a big deal out of. And so this is before we lived together. I went over to Chris's house and we watched it. And the face that like pops out, that ruined me. That was so terrifying. All the other stuff, like her head spinning around, like that, I don't care.
That's not scary.
The face popping out.
Yeah.
I still just, that was horrifying. And that was a lesson. And now that even comes up sometimes where like we're going to watch a thing that's like scary or gross. And I'm like, oh, I'll be fine. And Chris is like, do you remember The Exorcist? Like how you went into that? It's like, yeah, I do. But yeah, I
used to not get scared by horror movies.
Yeah.
That was a horrible time in my life because now I get scared by horror movies and it is awesome. It is amazing. It is so good. I used to be like a stubborn kid where I was like, I don't know, I see worse violence in my house than these fucking type of thing. You know, like I'm tough. I don't need this. And it would absolutely just go by me unfazed. And I was like, that was cool. They ripped her face off. But now like a movie can scare me really well. And I love going to the movie theater and getting scared. And I just succumb to it. I just let myself get taken over by the movie.
Yeah.
I let it fucking scare me. I buy in every time I can. It is the best. There's nothing better than that. The Exorcist is scary for that face. There's so many different moments that are subliminal in there that you can only see in like different versions. There's a theatrical release.
Oh, okay.
There's a director's cut. And I don't remember which one, but there's the shape of a face in the shadow.
All right.
One time, and watching that by yourself in the dark is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
That movie scares the shit out of me when in the right setting. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I have to be careful to not watch it too often because I'm like, no, I gotta let it build up again.
Yeah. We'll kind of go through phases where I think it's mostly around like Halloween where we'll go through a phase of we'll watch a lot of horror movies. And my favorites at this point, because I didn't really watch any growing up.
Yeah.
I love 90s like teen horror movies. I think those are my absolute favorite.
How come? You think because like you grew up in the 90s?
I think that there's just like a balance between like just the campiness of like we're friends going on a road trip. What could go wrong? And then like all the things happening. Maybe it feels a little safe in that regard. It's usually, you know, whether it's actually funny or not, you know, there's elements of humor.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went through a phase a couple of years ago. We watched like 3 of the Final Destination movies in a row. I had never seen any of those.
That's one of those. That's a strange franchise. I can't.
It is.
I can't enjoy those. Those fuck me up.
For a while after watching them, just every situation, I was like, "That's the next thing to happen."
Kill me like that. I still to this day, I'm pretty sure. Like, if the right thing above me is sharp enough, I'm dead.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I still think about several scenes from those movies that...
The second one traumatized me.
I couldn't tell you what happened in each separate one. If you tell me a thing that happened, I'd remember the thing.
There's a scene in the second Final Destination that traumatized me as a kid.
What happened?
It's when the teenager gets killed. When they're walking out of the building and then the big glass...
and he's just like obliterated.
He just gets smushed.
Yeah.
When I first saw that, I was like, but kids don't die in movies.
Oh.
I was like, but in my head, I'm like, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it was shocking.
And then they killed the thing that I could relate to closest in this movie. Oh. It was terrifying. That fucks me up. I still haven't seen it since because of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, don't blame you.
I was like, ouch.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of the scenes, I'm like, oh yeah, crazy. You're going to watch people die in elaborate ways. And the blood stains and the handprints and the tea kettle going on, and I'm just like, oh wow, this is crazy. This is cool. And That's a trip. Those movies are good. He gets everyone off the plane, and then everyone's like, "You asshole, you're fucking crazy," and then the fucking glass breaks in the airport, and you see the plane blowing up in the distance. Holy shit! That's a great scene. Devon Sawa. That's who it was, right? Devon Sawa.
Chris is gonna listen to like yes or no.
Yeah,
Chris always
someone's
knows.
screaming right now. Like, you moron. That was definitely not Devon Sawa. It might have been him.
But yeah, I will say too that Chris makes any movie or TV watching experience funny in some way, so it relieves some of the pressure that he'll make me laugh, even if what's happening isn't funny, and so that helps. I would never watch a horror movie just by myself. Like, let's see what this is about.
Yeah.
So it's like definitely the experience of like we're gonna like turn out the lights and eat dinner and watch this thing,
It's definitely something masochistic about someone who just sits down and is like, I'm going to watch a horror movie.
I feel like you would do that. Do you not do that?
I do that all the time.
Okay.
So what I used to do constantly is I'd fall asleep to a horror movie.
Why?
I don't know. I think this is going to sound so horrible. I think just the idea of like real life's fine. I'm in bed. I'm going to sleep. It's so much worse on screen.
It makes you feel better.
Where I'm like, cool, I'm cozy, like I'm safe.
Yeah.
I'm going to go somewhere safe. It's almost like going to sleep when stuff's happening is waking up from a nightmare, just backwards.
Wow.
To me.
Okay.
And I don't know, there's something also where I was just like, oh, cool, like this is an escape from what's actually bad.
Jeez.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like in my head. I was just like, this is, and I think maybe there was a part of like escapism to watching movies like that too as a kid where I was like, at least it's not this bad, you know? Like, oh, things. You
okay, buddy?
It gave me perspective. No, this is my therapy. No, I think it just gave me like a different perspective on like, things aren't so bad, are they?
Glass isn't falling on me.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be okay. But what it transitioned to was, really violent movies. Like for some reason, like the chaos going on the outside made me sleep better. I don't know. I forget what it was. Something about the dynamic of me not experiencing it it being there.
Right.
Like made me sleep soundly. Like
yeah.
I would only go to sleep to like something comfortably violent. Gangster movies especially type of thing. Horror movies especially. I don't know, but The Exorcist is one of those movies where I've fallen asleep and then woken up to and went, why the fuck did I do this? That was dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine.
But some movies are perfect for that for me. I don't know. How do we going to sleep. Okay, so I'd watch a horror movie by myself type of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Chris making light of things or like making them funny or enjoyable for you. If it was a movie I haven't seen and someone was doing something like that, I would scold them. I would be so infuriated.
What if it's funny though? What if you're actually laughing?
This is when funny is out the window and I don't have to be funny. I don't have to worry about funny.
Yeah.
I love lending myself to the viewing experience. If I was watching something with Kylie and I knew this is an important scene or it was going to terrify her, it would be the biggest crime to rob her from that experience to me. To me, I'd be like, there's no way.
Well, I mean, but like, I think you're picturing something jumping out and him being like,
no. I'm not at all.
Okay.
I'm not at all. Not at all. I said not at all. It's like if there was a moment in a movie that was really uncomfortable, and now the person feels comfortable because I made the scene seem like not so big of a deal, then they didn't get the point of the scene. They didn't get the feeling of the scene. Like if we were in the movies and we were watching It Chapter 2 again, and you're watching a gay man get beaten to death in the beginning of the movie. Spoiler alert, the book came out 30 years ago, bitch. 35 years ago. If I was like, that's not the kind of, if I made some dumb joke, you know what I mean? Like, and it ruined like the moment and she was like, oh, haha, it's fine. Then that scene was for nothing. Then you don't feel the pain of like this was a hate crime and then this person's gone type of thing.
I think you're putting this to scale for like real films and not just like a throwaway horror movie.
But for a first time viewing, there's no way. I'd be like, no, just let I'm
like
not
no
gonna
matter
make the
what
joke.
it is.
I don't know. Maybe I'm lying.
I think you are. I think you're putting a lot of weight on this that isn't.
I'm just thinking like if I was showing you a horror movie, the last thing I'd do would be to try and.
I think you have to understand there's already an open dialogue. This isn't like
I know,
sitting and watching.
Okay.
I think you.
But if I was sitting and watching a movie with someone, I need to let them kind of lose themselves in the movie themselves.
Wow.
And I would hate to pull them out of it type of thing.
So do you talk during movies at all when you watch them with Kylie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Like sometimes it warrants talking or warrants a response. And sometimes it's so natural because we're both doing it.
Yeah.
Especially, like a good example, like the Chris Farley documentary. Like we have to be taught like, oh my God, that's so sad. Or like, oh shit. Or like, oh wow, he was so funny. You know, it's definitely saying things. We're not going to like develop something. I don't know.
Yeah, we're constantly open dialoguing during the watch.
That's good.
So this isn't just like watching a scene, there's a joke. We're already talking throughout the thing.
Okay.
Because, that's, I mean, no matter what it is.
I'm so careful of what I watch that like I don't watch things that I'm ignoring. I don't like to watch things that I cannot, I don't know. Like I've tried to be very, what's the word? An asshole. I try to be very, have an intent when I'm watching something. Or I'm like, I'm not going to watch The Sopranos tonight because I know I'm not going to give it my full attention. Like if I'm watching something, I want to give it like my full attention type of thing. But I mean, we know that's not true because I go to your house and watch movies and make jokes with you too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You know, but you know where I'm coming from, right? You're not stopping me. So I'm just shitting out of my mouth some more.
I think that you're putting a lot of meaning onto things that don't need it. Like, for example, you came over and watched Titanic with us.
Oh, yeah.
And like the guy that you thought was computer animated on the deck of the ship that was walking funny. Do you remember this? Yeah. That's just like, you said something.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. There are people in the room that hadn't seen it.
Oh, Kylie. Oh, yeah, we knew what we were doing.
And you're just like, meh.
Yeah, that's true.
And we laughed.
Well,
we criticized you.
We knew what we were doing when we went there.
Right.
There was no, Kylie's going to watch Titanic for the first time. I better not spoil the ending. You know, there was none of that.
Yeah. I think you just need to put that on like everything.
No.
Yeah. I think just relax. Yeah.
I can't relax. If there's anything I can't do, it's relax. I wish I could fucking get a muscle relaxer every time someone told me to relax. It'd be fine.
Yeah. I think come over and watch some more movies.
That's something everyone's told me in my life. You need to relax.
I mean, I don't think that applies to everything, but I think we're talking about watching a horror movie.
It's okay to take something seriously, Allie. Maybe I can have my exceptions like movies. You're right. You're not wrong. Yeah. But neither am I.
Well, I think I'm having more fun than you are.
I think I will sacrifice the fun I'm having to make sure someone else is having fun.
Well, if you're both having fun.
Gross. Disgusting.
I think you just need to walk into the bubble of we're both having a great time.
Oh, I did last night when I got my fucking ass handed to me by my mom on Wii Bowling. That was great. That was like the most fun I've had with her in a while. That was cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. It's possible.
Yeah.
I do it. I am capable.
Yeah.
It's happened.
There's certain, I guess, movie watching chemistries with people.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Chris knows it's my favorite thing to laugh. And I'll take that over pretty much anything.
That's nice. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a very valuable trait. I wish more people had that because some people can't take a joke.
Yeah, you gotta.
I made a horrible joke recently. I mean, like a dark, stupid, ignorant joke recently. I'm not going to tell it on here. But,
okay, that's fine.
But part of me knows that I was like, I gotta make the joke. If there's tragedies or things happening in the news or anything like that, like I immediately think of like, what's the funniest joke I can make? And sometimes I go dark. The only reason I originally got a Twitter was so I could see Anthony Jeselnik's tweets after mass shootings and things like that.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, oh, because he's the dark comic. He's going to make the fucking dark jokes. And I love that. That's it was just one of those parts of stand-up I like tapped into where I was like, yeah, that's my shit. I need some of that shit right fucking there. And where's I going with this? I don't know where I was going with this. Never mind.
Oh. You made a really bad dark joke.
No, it was a good joke. But
okay. You can tell me after?
Yeah, I'll tell you after. Fuck.
Okay.
There was a point to what I was saying. I think I said I would sacrifice the good time to let someone... people just need to learn how to take a joke. I knew that there's going to be some way someone's going to look at that and misconstrue it as me being something...
Sure.
Not awesome, or me like someone's gonna fucking hate me for it, and it's like, oh no, I'm just making jokes. Like you're still allowed to make jokes in light of things like jokes are important, even if it's dark, things like that. Say no, maybe say no, disagree with something.
You're talking to someone who I think has way less rules in that category than maybe other people. I laugh at the jokes after things happen, and
that's good.
It just, what are you gonna do?
I can't believe Kim Jong-un's alive.
You posted, okay, I didn't find out about that until I saw you posting memes about it, and then Googled like Kim Jong-un dead, again, like sick, like this is a thing. Like I had to make sure it was like actually a thing.
I was on the front lines of making jokes about it. I made so many jokes about it, and he's alive. Great material wasted. And some of them were so like situation specific of like, oh, he's brain dead and he's a vegetable and his surgeon is
right.
So I made two really good ones where I was like, oh, Kim Jong-un's brain dead. I already knew that. When I saw his haircut, and the other one was like, oh, I heard Kim Jong-un surgeons also head of their rocket program. Like fucking just bam, just like a little like
you were ready for it.
I was so ready, and I was like, oh, it hit me at the right time, and this fat fucker is alive.
I mean, you didn't really think he was dead, did you?
Part of me was like, I knew it. He's nowhere to be found. Did you see the headlines of like he did it to like find holes in his cabinet type of thing?
Really?
Yeah, he did it to see like who's loose lips.
Okay.
You know?
That's interesting. Do you think they're dead now?
100%. The surgeon that didn't actually kill him was killed in rumors immediately.
Right, yeah.
Like there's no way those people he found out aren't getting hung, drawn, and quartered in the empty square. Oh, man. Although I wish I could go to North Korea and just like have like a little tour around the place. Yeah. Have you seen the architecture and like the art and the things they have there?
It's pretty wild.
That's one amazing thing about communism is the fucking totalitarian government art and like architecture and shit. Holy hell. That's a weird flip of the coin of like, this is a horrible thing that is destroyed humanity time and time again, but we have these really cool statues.
Look at the art.
Yeah, it's like there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Well, ask them. Be like, hey, is this statue worth it?
Hey, look at this thing, man. I know you starved to death, but come on, look at it. Just the art and things made about it, like in those crazy, because you don't think when there's dictators and totalitarian governments and horrible living conditions and mass starvations that there's also some pretty fucking cool art, some pretty well engineered art, things like that. I don't know.
Dallas Bronson, pro North Korea. I'm never listening again.
No. I thought people would be listening to podcasts more because they're at home, not at going to work and stuff.
Yeah.
Not true.
My theory is that they're listening to it when they're at the gym, they're driving, they're at work, and then they're not.
And now that I'm thinking about it, that's when I would listen. Driving places, I'd be listening to a lot of podcasts. When I'm at work, I'd be listening to podcasts. Sorry, boss. Just I don't listen to podcasts now. Right now, it's killing me, dude. I have to. That's what I'll do to feel normal.
Yeah.
Is like, now like this time of day is usually when I listen to fucking the Bill Burr podcast. I better put it on. Like there's certain time frames where I'm like, this is this podcast time. This is how I feel normal.
Sure.
But now I don't have that routine. So I'm like, why would I listen to any of these things now?
Yeah.
They're out of context. That's gross. I'm just standing here with a fucking corn dog in my hand and I haven't showered in 2 days and The Sopranos is never getting finished. I get scared of finishing shows.
Oh yeah, I feel that.
Like I pump the brakes.
Yeah.
Like second to last episode or second to last season
Yeah.
is like, stop. You're going to fucking ruin all your fun. And it's like, it's coming too.
Yeah.
Binge watching is toxic.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
You said you do that too?
Oh yeah, I feel that. And I mean, I think it maybe depends on the show. There are some that I don't really get as invested in, but yeah, I feel the same way with a book, that it's like,
I'll do the same.
You're just like milking the
the last pages.
Yeah.
Isn't it horrible when you realize you read the best part of the book already? Like this book's, I'm gonna finish the book and I'm gonna miss the whole third part of the book, the whole fucking third court. I don't know. It happens to me with movies.
Yeah.
There's like parts you prefer. Does that make them better, you think? Because you have it on a spectrum and a scale. One part makes you appreciate the other part. Like poverty and wealth.
I could. I don't really see that within the same film. Really? Yeah.
Because I love exposition in a film.
Really?
That's my favorite part of any film.
That's the part that I can't throw out because you need it. Like my peeve through movies is when everyone's saying the other person's first name. So like a married couple is in their kitchen and it's like, Travis, why didn't you get tomatoes? And he's like, Betty, I'm sorry. Travis, I'm always, and they just keep repeating. It's like, I've never seen that in real life. It doesn't happen. I know who you like.
When I'm around Kylie, sometimes I hesitate when I say her name because I'm like,
isn't it weird?
Yeah, it's kind of like if she texts me and says my name to me, it's like, it's on the top of the screen. Neither of us need it. Why'd you say that? Who's in trouble? What did I do? It's fucking awkward and it's out of place and it's not okay in movies.
Yeah, that's weird.
Hot take.
And that's all in the exposition because they're trying to drill into us who these people are. And I don't remember anyway.
So
probably, I mean, if you ask me the first and last names of my favorite movie characters, there's a good chance I don't know. Other than, obviously you have like Indiana Jones and things that are the title, but
it's obvious.
Yeah, so.
You don't like exposition?
I don't dislike it, but I think it can be clunky.
It can.
I love well done exposition. It can be done very well, but I think a lot of the time people take a clunkier route to it.
Some people are just like shitty. They're like, I know how to the good parts are happening. They'll get there. Just let me fucking. I guess some people.
I think that there are shows and movies that have taken the liberty of just starting in what feels like the middle of something, and they know that the audience is smart enough to catch up. That it's like, oh, I don't need to see him drive into his work and walk into the building that says the name of the place. They just start, and it's like, you'll get there.
You can't watch Clerks?
I haven't seen Clerks since I was 15 years old. But
you seem very broken up about that.
No, I have terrible allergies, and I think I touched my eye earlier and such.
You're also in the windiest city on the Central Coast.
Is this really? Because ours is pretty windy too.
I think this beats it.
But yeah. So I don't know. And I'm probably going to look back on saying that and be like, what was I thinking?
That's okay.
I love exposition.
I look back on things I'll be like posting the podcast and be like, that was stupid. Why did I even bother? I didn't need to just have a hot take on something. Yeah. But sometimes you just got to liven up your own opinions because sometimes I'm not even, because sometimes you don't even believe your own opinions. Sometimes I'll say something that I'm not even sure I believe anymore just to see if someone will disagree with me.
That sounds like a you thing.
It does. I'm sorry. Oh, no, that was horrible. That does sound like me. Oh, God, fucking. Anyways, well, listen. What did you have something for me?
I do have a thing for you.
Okay.
And you can
Please.
you can decide what you want to do with this. But I felt a little bad after our last episode because I feel like you were trying to get to know me and you maybe didn't get all the information. As said earlier, that I was a hard nut to crack.
Yeah, you
and
are.
It's I don't
so
want
difficult.
to be.
You're,
I'm
well,
not
I don't
trying
care.
to be. But,
I don't care what you want, lady. I'm trying to figure you out.
So I can be a little withdrawn. So I made a list.
I really admire it because if there's anything everyone could benefit from, it's a little bit of privacy, like self-instilled privacy. Some people are just so open. It's gross.
They are.
Just like, I didn't need to know that. Like,
And I'll soak it up. Everyone's Facebook drama and Instagram stuff, I'll read all of it, but I'm not really contributing. So I made a list of trivia, facts, things.
Yes. Be indulgent, self-indulgent.
There's stuff on here that people don't know.
Oh my God.
There's other stuff that, you know.
Why'd you write it on an envelope? Were you going to mail it?
That's what I had as
That's
paper.
what you had. Okay.
I made a note on my phone and then I wrote it down so that you could physically look at a thing.
That's
so
cool.
We can talk about any of these things if you want. If you just want to talk about one of them, whatever.
This is the same thing. Okay.
So there you go. This is
You're
my
giving it
guilt.
to me to read. I would never let someone read something that.
Well, I mean,
I've
I
written
filtered.
myself.
There's stuff I'm leaving out, but this is what I felt was maybe fair to give you a.
Wow. The silence, folks, is me reading slowly. I forgot I was doing a podcast. You hate whipped cream?
I do.
What the fuck is the matter with you?
And I'll say this about myself, which I'm a little proud of. Every couple years, I'll just give it a try. I'll just have a lick of whipped cream just to be like, maybe my mind changed. No.
Just retry.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Still. Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait. I gotta read this again. There's no way we're not talking about all of these things. I'm gonna go from 7 up.
All right.
Jesus. You can lick your elbow?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get my phone. I gotta take a picture of
Oh,
this.
don't. It's gonna be gross.
What?
I'll do it so you can see it.
Okay,
Don't take
it,
a picture
do
of
it.
it.
I won't do it. Well, you have a long ass tongue.
Yeah, I
That's
do,
basically
yeah.
cheating.
I don't think so.
And you
I'm
don't-
also flexible. I can just move my
I'm
elbow.
also flexible. That's something skinny people say when they're not trying to brag about being
You
skinny.
try doing it.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, put your mic down. Yeah. I'll give commentary. Okay, he's lifting his elbow. Yeah, you just gotta kind of shove your elbow towards your mouth, and yeah, you're doing a good try though. Yeah. I don't know if I can do it both. Okay, I can. Yeah, but yeah.
You also don't have a big ass muscles and a
have my
fucking
little-
giant jawline like me. Okay. Jesus. I guess I know someone else who can lick their elbow too.
I'll say it was upsetting all growing up whenever you had like a not Guinness Book of World Records, but something like that
Yeah,
had like
those
little
obscure
facts
facts.
and that's on there. It's like, but I can do it. So, yeah.
That was really upsetting. Wow, what
It bothered
what a
me.
charmed existence you lived. I didn't have
I
time
wasn't
to
falling
worry about
asleep
the
to horror movies,
trivia. Yeah.
trying to comfort myself.
Jesus. Okay. When you were 17, you simultaneously had a 4.0 and committed a misdemeanor and was caught. I committed a misdemeanor today. What did you do?
I'll preface it by saying
4.0 GPA, right? Not
Yeah.
like when I read 4.
I'll say usually above 4.0.
Hold on.
That was me being nice. Yeah.
You're hilarious. How dare you? That was me being humble, but then I immediately said not really though.
Well, I mean, I have to compensate for the shameful thing I did. So
When I read 4.0, I went, wow, that's a big fucking alcohol percentage. Like I was like, dang, she's drunk. It didn't even dawn on me that it's like 0.08 is. You'd be dead. 4.0 is death.
Yes.
What was the shameful thing you did?
Well, I'll say that a friend really did the main thing.
You were an accomplice.
Yeah. So I had 2 close friends that
running with the wrong crowd.
And I'm going to say not really, because they're both still my friends.
Still running with the wrong crowd.
So one said friend started counterfeiting money.
Nice.
And I'll say that
Good for them.
yeah. Here's what I'll say about the situation is that he got in less trouble than me and the other friend and got basically a pat on the back from everyone that it was impressive.
Yeah. That's the first thing good for him. See?
And like, I'm not just talking from like friends. I mean like law enforcement, like
the judge was like, holy hell, I can't
mad.
tell the difference.
So yeah, we didn't basically, because we were in high school, we managed to slide by with it. We didn't have to go to court or anything, but we did have to go to a class that is designed for kids who get in trouble, but is really targeted towards marijuana use.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
so the 3 of us just sat in there and learned all of these things we didn't know about. Like our favorite was that they told us through a PowerPoint that kids will go to parties and take a salad bowl and dump all of their parents' medication into it and then take a handful of it at the party and ingest all of them. And that this is a common party activity. And this is like the main substance of what we were walked through.
That's something that like their parents did when they were having like swinger parties and you could get like barbiturates over the counter and there was just all these fucking like, oh, here's uppers, downers, zingers and zangers and my wife's car keys. And they were just all in the same bowl.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
So I'll say that they didn't really know how to handle the situation. And we ended up basically just
How'd you get caught?
by spending the money and them finding out that it wasn't real.
What? Where? Who? No, I need some sort of detail. Even if you make up a story that's similar enough to what happened.
I'll say that
What did you buy, you fucking freak?
food.
Oh, God.
That's what both of us did. Yeah, it was, one of my best friends was the other person that got caught. And through that, got pretty frustrated because we were scolded and the other person was like, hey, that actually turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's just the line of, if it was the other way around, if they got caught first,
Right.
and then you, like, he probably would have been scolded, like, you fucking criminal mastermind wannabe piece of shit. And then you got these innocent people fucking see what you've done. It would have gone the entirely different way.
Right,
But
yeah.
because the line of, like, going up the corporate ladder
Right,
there,
yeah.
of like,
Well done, sir.
Who are these little soldiers? And wow. I'm impressed. I will say.
It
You
felt
have
so
my
wrong
respect.
because even at that age, I was like, hey, he's the one who's like doing this in his bedroom. Like, come on. But
Amazing.
yeah. So
What kind of bills were they?
5s,
Fives?
I think. Yeah. So this is another thing that drove both of us crazy is that we saw and insisted that Abe Lincoln had a small smirk. And they're like, no, we don't see that. Looks very real to us. So yeah, that was a thing. And I won't say that it was necessarily a actual cry for attention, but that was definitely a phase that I was probably doing things I shouldn't have been.
I wonder if I had ever had like a cry for attention, like manifest itself in school like that. I feel like I tried to stay very off everyone's radar if I could.
Good. I'll say that my main group of friends, we didn't do bad things, but we did do a lot of like kind of maybe mischievous.
I knew you were going to say that word.
Yeah. I mean, we did like a lot of fence hopping and things like that. But like one time me and another friend were at the mall in Santa Maria and they had one of those like newsstands that you get like a free paper and we put that in the elevator so that whoever like used the elevator next would just see
That's
like
fine.
a giant, just things,
Just
you
kid
know,
stuff. That's
just
cool.
things that you shouldn't do. But
I used to piss on the toilet paper rolls at Rigetti in the bathrooms.
Ew.
I used to go into the stalls and piss directly on it, ruin a whole roll of toilet paper, and cuck the next person that had to go use the bathroom.
Yeah. Jeez.
So if you
Yeah.
and we went to Rigetti at the same time too. So if any of your dude friends ever went to the fucking bathroom and found one of those, my fault. I'm trying to think of all the mischievous things I did. I was so afraid of my voice cracked there. It was funny. Trying to think I was so afraid of getting in trouble for things that like when my friends were doing mischievous things, like I would not I would just be like, okay, I'll
say that this was the line that, and I was kind of, I mean, shouldn't have done it in the first place, but grateful that I had another friend that went through it, because pretty much after that point, other things that people did that's like, let's go do this thing, we were the ones that stayed back. We're like, we're not gonna, like,
isn't that
because
funny?
it was very much like we didn't get in a huge amount of trouble, and so it's like, if as long as we
scared
just
you enough,
right, yeah, but then having someone that you weren't just the lone person being like, guys, I can't, so
it's a shared experience,
right,
like that. There
yeah,
you go.
and so that kind of helped out. But there's, I don't know, I can't think of specific things, but yeah, it's shenanigans, a lot of shenanigans.
I used to do a ton of shoplifting.
Really?
I could. Only from like a corporate place though.
Right. I knew several people that did that.
Or thrift stores, because the inventory is free, and fuck them.
Yeah. Okay. I had a couple. I knew a couple of people that like Walmart, things like that, because they're evil. So
I stole a bag from
What, you
Walmart
heard
the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not paying for this bag.
Oh, like a
Grocery bag?
Oh, okay.
Just like, cool, free bags. Weird. They're still free. I didn't have to, it came right off the thing. I didn't have to put a dime in. It was fantastic.
Oh, Dallas.
No.
They're gonna listen. They're gonna come find you.
I know, because only people that work at Walmart are low enough to fucking listen to my podcast. Honestly,
wasn't free.
if someone's at Walmart right now listening to this podcast, get to work. Jesus Christ. Just kidding. Okay, next one. Jesus. That was a good one. You haven't had a drop of alcohol since you were a teenager and have never done a single drug, but you've
Nope.
done multiple drugs at once, right? Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Dare program worked on this one.
That's fun.
I kept my pledge.
Really? You took the DARE program?
Yeah, everyone did, didn't they?
Not me.
Really?
I was specifically taken out of it. That's just more on the commentary of my life growing up. I was taken out of the DARE program by my parents.
Oh.
They're like, we were just going to raise a little snitch. Is that what you're doing? I mean, meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, what? I'm going to fucking tell my parents for drinking and...
Are you serious right now that they did that?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
100%. And
I didn't even know that was a thing that you could opt out of.
yeah, no. So I just, when everyone did it, I went and like hung back at like a lunch table during the DARE program during class.
Oh. Wow.
And turns out, horrible fucking choice for everyone else. Great choice for me. Everyone in that classroom ended up, like all of my friends that took it, on way worse drugs and have done drugs that I will never do.
Right.
And like everything, you know, just pregnancies and fucking drugs. And like, I was like, damn, I'm glad I didn't drink till I was out of high school.
Yeah.
I didn't smoke weed till I was 21. Like I didn't do anything for like most of my life, and they had already all been subjected to that.
Wow.
So your DARE program success, fluke. But what did you drink when you were a teenager? What do you? Did you get drunk? Or
you went
do you even
backwards
know?
in the list order, but I went to Europe when I was 16, and that was kind of open season for
Fuck yeah, shenanigans.
drinking. I've never been drunk.
Oh, really?
No, never. But like drank Guinness, did the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't. But anyway, yeah, just Never really got into it, but yeah, never did a single drug. And honestly, I will attribute it to that I had a very close relationship to my parents, and I think the fear of disappointing them really did a thing on me.
Chris D'Elia has a similar thing to that. It's in his new special. I highly recommend you guys watch those 3 specials that just came out.
Okay.
It's Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, Chris D'Elia.
Oh, okay.
They all came out within a month of each other, and they all have one part of a joke that you piece together.
Oh, no way.
So you get the setup, the story, and the punchline.
Okay.
If you watch them in order, so.
All right.
Pretty cool. I really respect people. I have like a big admiration and respect for people who don't drink and don't do drugs and stuff, because I was very against doing any of that growing up. I was surrounded by it. I didn't like it. I don't like when my friends still do things too much now. I have friends that are drunks now and alcoholics and then like do coke and shit, and I'm just like, I don't want to be like, I grew up, I know what this does to you. This is the wrong place to start. Like I've seen the result of this. You guys are just in like stage 1.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that I would admire that are teetotalers, don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs, anything like that. And you telling me that, I don't know if I would admire you and Chris as much if from the get-go. Yeah. Because I like hold you guys in a different regard because of it. I like that. I like that I can go over to your guys' house and it's not about getting drunk or smoking weed, or it's not dividing the situation for that.
Sure.
Because like a lot of the things I like about my friends is their personalities, and those things really change someone's personality to something I don't care for. Yeah. Most of the time. Yeah. Like I have to also be drunk or also on acid to enjoy someone drunk or on acid. You know what I mean? It's very different. Proud of you.
Thanks.
But also, if you ever want to drink or smoke, go somewhere else. Don't hit me up. Don't break my heart like that. Don't disappoint your parents.
You don't got to worry about it.
Okay. What the fuck is that noise? Do you hear that?
Sounds like a car.
That's a vacuum.
Is it?
Next door? You think there's just a car in the
Isn't there like a main
door?
road right there? That's not a car. That's a vacuum? That's crazy.
I can hear many things from my neighbors.
I'm sorry.
It is horrible. Oh, I highly recommend people also not having neighbors if they can help it. Yeah. That's one of the shitty things about this pandemic. I didn't even know anyone lived there till this shit. They were never home. Yeah. Never.
And now they're vacuuming.
It's horrible. And then these people, so loud, always home. Although I will say that this guy yells at his kids less. Oh. Which is interesting. Yeah. Because they're more, so maybe, I don't know if he has like more time to connect with them or what. Yeah. But he's not yelling
I hope that happened.
Yeah. I haven't heard him yell at him a while until yesterday when he was yelling at him for moving the video game out of the PlayStation. Oh. And I was like, ugh.
So like he's the one playing it? Yeah.
So like one of the kids like watched Star Wars in the PS4 and like moved. I could hear everything. Yeah. And I was like, I would never yell at my kids the way he was yelling at them over like my video game. Yeah. That's why I don't respect like gamers and stuff, because they take that shit so seriously. I'm like, really? There's real people that are getting traumatized, right? Because your disc was moved. You fucking child. So that's what I equate video games to very often.
Oh, I guess, yeah. Jeez.
Just saying. Mm-hmm. Also, I was poor. I didn't have video games growing up, so I just like resent everyone that has video games.
There we go. Yeah.
But also, there's a lot of validity in my statements.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not completely full of shit over here. Just half. So when you were 16, you saw a Banksy. You snuck out of a hotel to climb a fence and see it. Yeah. Fence climbing. There you go. Yeah.
Regular. I was with other people. I wasn't by myself. Yeah. I'll say that.
Where? What? You were in London. Tell me about this.
Yeah. Went to the UK when I was 16 after my sophomore year of high school.
Just as like for the fuck of it?
There were a couple different Europe trips happening through my school, through different...
Please explain this white privilege that I've...
Hey, you went to the same school I did.
Yeah, so. Well, I was pissing on toilet paper rolls. It's different.
The teachers that were organizing it were husband and wife. And the wife I had for 8th grade English. But her husband worked as an English teacher at Rigetti. And so I was lucky enough to be invited to go.
Was this Mr. Paulus, Mrs. Paulus?
No, it was the St. John's.
I don't know them.
Oh, okay. Well, so yeah, I got to spend 2 weeks in Europe. Yeah. So.
But you saw Banksy.
I did. Yeah.
You snuck out of the hotel at night?
This is very lucky that this struck right around the time that I even discovered who he was. And like the height of being excited about his stuff. And then found out that there was one right down the block from where we were staying.
Oh my God, how cool.
It was, do you know his work well at all?
Absolutely.
It's, do you know where the Pulp Fiction banana piece was? And he painted over it with the angel with the skull because ozone died. Do you know that story?
I don't think I do.
Okay,
no.
there's a guy who did graffiti, but also was like a graffiti critic named Ozone, who used to critique Banksy's work.
Oh,
and
shit.
And another guy whose name I can't remember were in a subway tagging a wall and ended up getting hit by a train and died.
Okay.
And so Banksy painted over the Pulp Fiction and did that one for him.
I have not seen
And so that's
this.
one that I saw, yeah.
That I don't know if I've seen this.
Yeah. I think once you see it,
I want to say it sounds familiar, the ozone artist being... That's weird.
Yeah. So anyway, but there was...
I know people with Banksy tattoos.
Oh.
How dare you? It's they're cool. Good for them. They got tattoos. They like cool things. No, does that go against Banksy's?
It goes against tattoos in general. Sorry, Dallas.
I don't care. You think I get tattoos? I don't. I stopped.
Okay.
I've stopped years ago. Yeah.
But yeah, it was... I had a couple actual friends on the trip with me that I knew and were already friends with, but it was kind of like a hodgepodge group of people, and you kind of become friends with people just like in that weird way that you'll never talk to them again after that trip, but in that, capacity, you're friends. Fun. So there were a group of people, like I had bought a Banksy, the book Wall and Peace, and we all kind of like passed it around, and like a couple other people were excited about it. That's cool. We went out and saw it in real life.
Like at night?
Yeah.
Hopped a fence?
It was a chain link fence.
Did you have
a
picture?
No.
You didn't get a picture of this?
I didn't. This is pre-iPhone.
Pre-photographer, apparently. Yeah. You didn't bring
and
a
we didn't.
camera on the trip?
I think what we were hoping was to get up higher to see it, and we didn't.
Oh, it was kind of
there
obscured.
were several. I think it was like, I'm trying to think of what the actual building was. But like we crossed a parking lot and then went over, and I think there's another one, and there's just a point where like you can get close enough to like get a picture with it or anything. So
that'd be a big deal. He just had Banksy. There's just a piece that came out.
Right.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, he's still around doing things. This is awesome. Hey, do you know who Banksy is?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you Google it, it's actually I didn't know until I just spent a day like, do we know who this is? And found out within 10 minutes. But
I'm not sure I know who it is now.
I think his first name's Robin. I don't remember his last name.
Someone was trying to say that he's from this Britpop band. Was it Pulp or Blur or something like that? He's like someone from this band, or like, oh, Banksy's actually just Moby or something, or something. Yeah. Not that fucker.
Right, but still.
Poor Moby.
I think that
never seen early signs of Alzheimer's so quick in my life.
But I just remembered we were at Festival of Disruption a couple years ago, and Moby did a DJ set. And we missed it.
Oh, you missed it?
He was in the same hotel as us, and we were just like, let's eat dinner. We didn't see him. It was him being a DJ. It's not
his music.
It's just seeing his head there. Basically, is what you.
I don't know if I'd give a shit about that either.
But yeah, I love. Did you see Dismaland? That thing that project he did. I don't know if you can call it a project.
I know about it.
Okay, that's another like Wikipedia hole that I'll go down every once in a while.
Fuck.
Enjoy it.
It's so funny. I can't tell you how many times I'll be having a discussion with someone on a podcast, and I'm just, because of what they're talking about so cool, I'm like planning things. I'm like, okay, I'm going to Wikipedia. I'm going to go through a Wikipedia wormhole, and I just like get fucking preoccupied with like, oh shit, we're going to do these things. And then I'm like, oh, Dallas, the person's talking. You have to fucking...
Definitely
that's why I write things down, though.
Yeah,
that's why
good.
I write things down, though.
That's good. Definitely look it up, because I think it's pretty enjoyable. Like Disneyland parody theme park.
I know this.
Yeah.
I know about this. Mm-hmm. But there's something that I'm forgetting about it. Like there's some point to it I'm forgetting. I don't know. It's not that important, guys.
Give it a goog.
That's Mark Norman says that so much.
Really?
That it's a t-shirt
for
his podcast. Give it a goog. Yeah, that's so funny you said that. Because I've been trying to get Chris to find out who Joe List and Mark Norman are and like succumb to their podcast and stuff like that. Because they like Seinfeld. You guys like Seinfeld, and it works.
Who doesn't? Like, does anyone dislike Seinfeld? I think that's a pretty universally enjoyed thing, right?
I think there's a lot of people that I wouldn't even bother spending time with anyways that are like, I ain't watching some old ass TV shows.
Do they only dislike it because everyone else likes it?
Maybe,
basically?
But then I'm sure there's also people that, people that are like so far removed that like they don't care about comedy.
Yeah.
Like those people.
Okay.
Those kind of people. I was watching some of that stuff could get him canceled today.
What?
In Seinfeld?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's not holding up.
But we're willing to let it slide because
also it's
Seinfeld
fiction.
is the Michael Jackson
but
of
it's also
TV.
fiction. Remember, that's also fiction too.
Yeah.
That's another funny thing is like, it's a show. I guess, yeah, you can't get mad at someone for saying a word or a phrase in a movie because it's fake. It's fiction. Right. It's not real.
I think people still do anyway.
Sure. But like, you know, no one's going to be like, oh, fucking Tim Roth is canceled because he said the N-word in Pulp Fiction. Oh, it's like, no, we still watch Tim Roth movies. Like that was part of the script. This character says that. What of it type of thing. I guess you can think about Seinfeld that way.
I enjoy Seinfeld.
I enjoy the shit out of Seinfeld. I'm slowly trudging through it because I'm trying to.
Yeah, Chris told me.
Yeah, I really don't have the Seinfeld wherewithal or like the repertoire.
Okay.
Experience.
Yeah, I've gone through phases of watching it. I've never sat down and watched the entire series in order.
Oh, okay.
Chris and I we watched it before bed for a long time, and I don't remember how far we got. But yeah, I'd say we've probably seen the majority of it.
I'd say I'm forcing myself to watch it because I feel like I'm pushing myself to enjoy it more than I'm enjoying it.
Really?
Just by a small margin.
Okay.
But enough to where I'm like, fuck, I want to watch something else now. Where I'm like,
there's a lot of content there.
It is.
It's a lot of episodes.
Yeah. I'll get through it and I'll let you know what I think.
Okay. Sounds good.
But you and Chris have your 10-year anniversary this month?
We do.
You said our relationship would be a 5th grader.
Yeah.
I like that tag. That's funny.
We actually have a friend who has a son that was born on our actual, like the day we started dating.
Wow.
And so that's a visual
representation of the growth you guys have had.
He's big. He's a functioning human.
Yuck. Ugh.
It's pretty wild.
I mean, you don't see a lot of those around anymore.
No.
Functioning humans. Yuck. 10 years. Wow.
10 years. A decade.
You gonna break up with him now?
No.
Okay, good.
Not letting that guy go.
That's so sweet. He said such nice things about you.
He's a sweet guy.
Was he always like that?
Always nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Why do you think I started dating him?
I don't know. People like
He's not like a stallion that I broke in and like made a sweet person. He's always been that way. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's why, yeah.
You should have known me before I met Kylie.
I can imagine. Peeing on toilet paper.
Yeah. Oh, I still do that.
Yeah, right. She'd get mad.
She'd get mad. She'd be like, listen, asshole, I got to use that toilet paper. Rather, she would say, listen, asshole, I have to waste all of that toilet paper. You women and your toilet paper are crazy. That's who went and stole all the toilet paper, was women. They were just buying stacks of it. That's one line in the sand I'll draw in sexism where I'm like, no, this is fact. Kylie will buy me a pack of toilet paper, like a 6-pack, on my birthday, and it would last until my next birthday. Like, I don't get how. Like, my asshole is clean. Like, I don't not clean it, but fuck, man. Toilet paper shortage is women's fault. Bronson, 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were adopted as a baby.
Yep.
Your biological mom died when you were 12.
Yep.
And your sister died 3 years ago.
Yep.
So your biological sister as well.
Yep.
That's what you mean. Okay.
Yep.
Why were you adopted? I mean, not like why did they like you? Why were you like,
why they pick you?
This one's ripe. Let's,
Yeah. So if you ever like really want to get into it, my brother actually did Are We Okay? And talked about it. But yeah, my siblings had kind of a rough childhood, and I have a different dad than them, and this was a chance for me to have a different life than them. And so it was actually my siblings were the one who picked my parents, who adopted me.
Okay.
Yeah,
maybe you did tell me this on your last presence here.
That's possible.
It's
yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
How old were you?
When I was adopted?
Yeah.
It was arranged before I was born.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So my parents took me home from the hospital and everything.
When did you find out you were adopted?
I knew my whole life.
You knew your whole life?
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
You're like, you guys are black, I'm white, it's different. I get it.
I'll say that the thing that my dad was adopted. My dad and his sister were adopted and grew up knowing that they were adopted. Mm-hmm. Celebrated the day they were adopted, like their birthday and everything. And that's definitely, if you ever adopt a kid, don't keep it from them.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's even, is it Jack Nicholson that found out that who he thought was his sister was actually his mom? Yeah. Just things like that. It'll really mess with you. Definitely have the awareness.
Are these days important to you, like when you were adopted?
I mean, I was adopted basically on my birthday, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Oh,
but,
of course.
I'll say that my parents were whether they knew what they were doing or not, handled everything very well.
Okay.
Because there is a weird guilt, I think, that comes from most people who are adopted, where you feel like you being interested in the family you're adopted from will insult your parents or hurt their feelings, because fearing that you'll make them feel like that they're not good enough.
Did you go through that?
Oh yeah, I absolutely. And finding out that my dad felt that way first at a certain point about his
parents.
Yeah, exactly. That it's a weird thing.
You grew up in a household with an adopted sister as well?
She didn't. I grew up basically as an only child.
Okay, so she was already out of the house.
So my parents only adopted me, and so my siblings all grew up with my mom, their mom.
Yeah.
And then when I was 7 or 8, I don't know how it came about, but my dad, I think it was my dad, found the phone number of my siblings, and basically I talked on the phone with my sister, and we arranged to meet, and basically started a relationship of knowing.
I'm sorry, how old were you?
Like 7 or 8.
7 or 8? Okay.
Yeah. And my siblings are quite a bit older than me. And so, yeah. And then throughout my life would visit with them.
Really?
If they came through the area, they'd visit. And then as I got older, I started driving down there myself and would, see them and everything. So, yeah.
Did you see similarities in maybe mannerisms or traits that you had that you noticed in them?
Not it's when it's pointed out to me, I'll notice it more, but myself, I'm not really. My thing is that I love seeing when kids look like their parents and love seeing that similarity, because like a lot of people don't know that I'm adopted because my parents and I look similar just by pure coincidence.
That's probably why they liked you. You're like,
I like that face.
Yeah.
But I never have known who my biological dad is, and I don't think I'll ever know. And I wish I could see a picture just to see physical similarity.
Do you not have a lot of physical similarity with the rest of the family you've met?
I do in some ways. There's certain things that I see. I've noticed that my mom's mom looked a lot like me. I saw like an old photo of her and I was like, okay.
Do you have a name for your biological dad?
No.
Don't even know
Nothing.
His name. So why is his identity so obscure?
He was a guy that wasn't really in the picture. He was a guy that she got pregnant and they weren't really even together. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that my parents saw a picture of him because you see like pictures of the parents and everything, but I never have. I don't have a name or anything. And I'm pretty okay with it. Like, it frustrates me sometimes because I feel like that in this era you should have access to anything in the world. But yeah, so, and really just purely for that reason. Just like there's a part of me that's like, am I gonna see a picture and be like, wow, that looks just like me? But
your biological mom died when you were 12.
Yep. Yeah.
How did that feel to you as an adopted person not growing up with her?
I was mostly upset because I felt like I lost the chance to know who that was. And that was, it's mostly, I think, just like it's that sense of just like, well, I guess missed opportunity in a way. And it's kind of weird when you're 12 because it's like, well, you couldn't really have done anything anyway. It's just like, but yeah, I think that then I realized it's like, oh, I'll never really get to know that person. And that's, still what I think of is that I wonder about her. My brother was really nice, and one of the last times we visited, he gave me some of her she had like spiral bound notebooks that she basically kept as like diaries. And so I have those that.
Have you really dived into those?
You know what? I started reading them around the time he gave them to me, and I didn't read all of it. I let Chris read it, and he read through them, and I still have them in a drawer and have not finished reading them. And wasn't even really emotional about it. It was just, it's weird, and I'll get around to it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that there's a lot of just kind of, I think maybe I have a hard time with things like that where there's no easy solution or answer. You just have to deal with the feelings. And so
I think sometimes the best thing to do is to lean into your feelings.
Yeah.
As a tough boy growing up, like, you're kind of taught not to have emotions.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I've noticed what makes me feel best is when I am feeling some kind of way, I can lean into the emotion, and what kind of makes the anxiety of it go away is knowing that, like, oh, I just have to experience this.
Right.
Like, just be in the moment of frustration or fear or anxiety or stress or sadness.
Yeah.
And because I'm very good at kind of like staving off those emotions.
Right.
I can, absolutely like singe them and stop them from going any further, and then just kind of turns you into like a really bitter person. Yeah. Which I have been doing consistently my whole life. Yeah. So recently I've really been trying to acknowledge an emotion. Yeah. And give it its day in court. Yeah. Yeah. You can't do like an ancestry type thing or a.
It's funny. I did. Chris got me a few years ago the 23andMe, and was able to see like what my genetic makeup is, because, I knew from being told, but that was fun. And what my dad did recently is he did one of the ancestry things and actually connected for the first time in his life with his, yeah. And so that's been a whole thing that, he's in his late 60s and finding out like, this is a cousin I have. And this is, so that's been exciting to see him go through that. And yeah, I sway in my feelings of letting it be what it is or pursuing something. So, and it's not something I think about a lot necessarily, but every once in a while. Yeah.
Curious about it.
Sure. Yeah.
What kind of relationship do you have with these biological siblings? Because I have biological brothers, and we are so. I knew I'd be talking to you about this a week ago.
Really?
I don't know why. We say, how do I put this? When I'm around them, we share a father. We all have this, me and these two brothers have the same dad.
Yeah.
But when they're around me, they say, your dad. Like it's not their dad.
Right.
Because I grew up with him.
Yeah.
And he divorced their mom when they were kids. And I've always felt like they harbor some sort of animosity or jealousy towards me, whether it's real or not.
Yeah.
And I was just curious what kind of dynamic you might have with either the adoptive siblings or the biological ones. And if you can kind of understand like that obscure, like, oh, this is your dad, not mine, but same parent still at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean when I'm asking though, what kind of relationship do you have? Because
it's, I grew up as an only child. And so I always kind of thought about what it would be like to have siblings. And I know that everyone who does have siblings that they grew up with, it's like, we fought all the time and, whatever, that it's like some of them have incredible relationships and they, obviously a turbulent, ever changing thing. But I was always kind of jealous of that. Cause like, you just had like a friend all the time. And so, I'll say that they have been absolutely nothing but completely accepting and loving of me throughout every phase of my life. And that I never have had an opportunity to even question that.
And you're the youngest?
Yeah.
I'm the youngest too.
Yeah.
There's a strange energy vibe you get from being the youngest. Of like that like animosity or that jealousy because you were treated so differently than your older siblings. I feel like oftentimes I could have had siblings that I was good friends with, had good relationships with growing up.
Yeah.
But there was just a breach of understanding.
Yeah.
It wasn't really there. I didn't really know how to like build that bridge with them.
Yeah.
And it's just now starting to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how to go about that.
Yeah, I think that sometimes, even though it's really hard, that, in situations like that, just being the person to say something first is sometimes the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
And I know that that's like the hardest thing. I have a really hard time with stuff like that. I have a hard time opening up, but I think that sometimes you saying something, it's incredible that other people are feeling the same way.
Yeah.
And that they're not going to be the ones to say something first. But yeah, I was really lucky. I still am that, I get a whole second family that,
It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. And, I think that for the most part, I've let go of, a lot of the mixed feelings that I had because I felt a weird guilt and I felt like that, I don't want my parents to think I don't like them because, I'm interested in, this other family that I, came from and know nothing about. And, and that's something that no matter how absolutely wonderful my parents are about everything, I still felt that way, and I felt guilty to a certain extent that I got the childhood that I did, that, you know, my siblings didn't get and that they wanted for me. And and then just, you know, accepted it's like, that's what they wanted. You know, they wanted something better for me, and I got that thing. Like, that's the way, you know, don't feel guilty for that, you know.
So you can appreciate it as like this very selfless thing they did for you.
Yeah. It's incredible to have somebody that, you know, did that for me before they even knew who I was, you know, and that, yeah. So pretty wild. But yeah, I never really talked about it I still don't really, but unless it comes up, just because it's everyone in elementary school who, I mean, kids don't know how to handle things, but their question was always, oh, do you know your real parents? It's like, these are my real parents, you know? It's like, I love my mom and dad to pieces, and they're like, you know, they are my real parents, but it's just like, you know, that's how kids who don't know what that is just view it. It's like, oh, who are your real parents? Like, you know,
because we need to know, like, are you an orphan?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone, all anyone knows is things from movies or, you know, whatever. So I just kind of, didn't really talk about it. And yeah, like I said, I look remarkably like my parents. So
that's pretty cool.
You wouldn't guess otherwise.
It's very fortunate. Good coincidence.
Yeah, right?
Because then when there's like people that might ask you about.
Oh, sure.
And then you're like, nope.
Yeah.
Not today. Yeah. Don't ask me about it. Could you tell was there a change in your relationship with your adoptive parents after you met this family?
No, not at all. No.
Something I would be afraid of is finding out who my real parents were. And then either resenting or changing how I feel about the people who raised me.
Yeah.
But it's so often reassured in like media that portrays it that like, no, like those are your real parents. They raised you. That's where your connection lies, type of thing.
Yeah. Part of it too might have been because there's a significant age difference. But like, you know, maybe if they were the same age as me, that maybe, but I don't, And the fact that they lived, I mean, not far away, but, you know, several hours away, you know, that you know, the same as like going to visit, you know, your cousins or, you know, whatever. So yeah, not really at all. Yeah. And I think anything that I felt was me worrying about things that I didn't have to worry about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your sister died 3 years ago.
Yeah.
What kind of relationship did you have with that sister?
She was when I was 7 or 8, I talked to her on the phone for the first time, and she was like, we went over to her house and everything. I wish I was closer with her, and that's not to say that we weren't close, but you know, it's definitely kind of same thing. That's like, I probably should have taken more opportunity to build that and be there. And I know that that's a little unfair because it's like life happens and you're not foreseeing that. But yeah, that was, same feeling that it's like, I wish I could have known every single thing about her.
What did you know about her?
I mean, I knew about her childhood and her upbringing, and she has kids that, you know, are my nephews and everything. She actually, she died of lupus. She had a baby very soon before she died, which is wild. It's kind of a miracle. And yeah, I'll say that her dying was one of the most unfair, like, examples of something really unfair happening, that I felt like she didn't get the break she deserved, and she didn't get, you know, she died on her 37th birthday. And just like, I wish that she could have had more. and I'm not saying that as like, I mean, she had a husband that loved her so much and her kids and everything. And I just wish that it's like, I don't know. I mean, you wish the best for everybody, but her life was something that I felt like it was really unfair for that to happen to her, that she already like persevered through so much. And then for that to happen to her felt incredibly unfair. But
I share that sentiment of wishing you were closer with someone.
yeah.
Because my uncle just passed away. Every time I saw him, he'd always invite me to go down and stay with him and his family and just like hang out and do fun stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, totally. Like, I'll totally, yeah, let's do it. Of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Why didn't I do that? Yeah, we're anytime coming down. He's like, yeah, dude, anytime, man. Just come on over, hang out, go do something. When he died, my mom said, oh, that's something that your brother has over you, because he went down there and had a fun time, and they like got a big stretch limo and like went out and did things.
Yeah.
And I have no resentment towards my brother for that.
Right.
And I thought that was so awesome of my mom to say, because it was like giving credit to my brother for something that she's right. Like, oh, you had something, you followed through on something that most people only regret.
Yeah.
It's very cool. It's weird how you can only appreciate small things like that in the midst of tragic things like that.
Right. Yeah.
Last time I saw him was my brother-in-law's funeral too. He was perfectly healthy, this big, tall, blonde dude. He was born, his birthday was the day before mine.
Oh.
My mom told me growing up, she's like, yeah, I held you in. I was, no way I was
sharing
giving
the
you,
birthday.
sharing the birthday. I always think about him on his birthday too.
Yeah.
Because it's the day before mine.
Right,
so I'm already self-involved. And then I'm like, oh, that's almost like me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's, I think you said it off mic, but yeah, it's different deaths affect you in very different ways. And I think that, it's every one that I've experienced has been a completely different feeling. And I think that my sister's is one that's like a slow burn where I still, you don't get over it. Like, I think that's the wrong way to put it, but that still is like marinating.
Yeah.
After all this time, that I still think about her all the time, and not just her, but I think about the entire spectrum of that happening, and even just the experience of her funeral and everything is one that's like, I still think about it very often. And so, yeah, it's weird how that happens.
Silence is golden. I like silence. Would you ever adopt someone?
Yeah. You know, it's weird though that I'm so excited for the idea of having a kid. I think it's not just having a kid, but the idea of a kid that looks like you and the person you like most is so, like, I love that idea. I think that's so exciting. It's just like, I mean, I say it to him and, obviously he's like, why? But it's like the idea of a kid that's like Chris is the coolest idea to me. It's just like, you're the best person. And imagine like a little version of you, like, it's just like, I think that it's funny because I think that, not a lot, but, you know, a good portion of girls grow up just like with the idea of like, I know I'm going to be a mom. Like I love babies and, you know, they play with them and everything like that. And I really was for age 16 and 17 doing that stuff, like really kind of in this phase of I kind of didn't care what happened to me, of just like I really didn't care about what I did or what happened to me, and was kind of careless and had this really kind of like masochistic idea of that I was going to like live by myself, and I was going to make films, and I was just going to kind of be doing this thing, and that is all I would do. And like, while I absolutely loved, you know, I still love film and I still love the idea of making them or writing them and everything, I think that really what it was that I was kind of in a just like depressed place where I felt like that's kind of what I deserved. Or it's like, I don't think, like I couldn't picture myself having any kind of like future like that. And once Chris and I started dating and we were together, I kind of started like feeling like I need to get it together. And I really kind of like had the reality check that it's like I'm doing a lot of things that are unnecessary and that are hurting me more than anything. And that I suddenly, all of the things that I just totally rejected seemed like a fun idea. The idea of like being with someone and having a family and a future and like being happy and like, I don't know. I felt, I guess, found like self-worth in that. And I think part of that is finding someone that sees the good things in you and sees that, you know, tells you that you're a good person and that you can do good things, and, you know, made me feel like that, you know, it wasn't just, you know, the things I did or the things I made, but that me as a person was, you know.
You meet someone that teaches you how to love yourself.
Yeah.
Because they can see what's to love. Gives you a good reflection.
Yeah. So, yeah. I would be in a very different place, I think. I think that if things hadn't happened the way they did, I can see that I kind of would have just kept driving myself into a hole, kind of. That I just kind of didn't give a shit about what happened.
Do you think you romanticized the solitude of it because there wasn't anyone that you could blame or let down, or vice versa?
Maybe. I think that it was a mix of that there were things happening on different levels that made me just kind of cynical about everything. And that in the big picture, looking back, that I think a lot of it was just being 17 years old, and that I won't downplay some of those things, but that, you know, it's like, it was kind of overwhelming, and I think it was a lot easier for me to just be like, well, like, forget all of that. Like, I'm just going to do this, and, you know, found a thing that I was good at and figured that's just what I'll do. And that was easier than trying to, like, resolve any of the problems, you know?
It's really interesting how you seem to deal with that, because most people are rather self-destructive And even in the throes of that doubt, you were doing something creative. You had something productive. So to me, that speaks volumes to who you are as a person and to who Chris probably pointed out to you. Probably.
Yeah.
He was like, hey. Clearly. Even your masochism is quite productive here. There's something there. There's some plants to be watered. There's some potential of person in there.
Yeah, I think that it was, it probably happens with a lot of people who we know for the things they do. It's like you find a thing that you're good at, and no matter what, if you just put everything into that, it's just, and that's what I did, was that it's like I found a thing that I had friends that, did it with me, and it just was kind of an all-encompassing thing. And, I'm sure that's the same as like, those athletes that just spend hours a day doing that thing that, you commit to something like that, and you're, you get sucked up into it. And I think that I put a lot of that, didn't realize that I was like trying to like put all of my problems and everything and just shoving it into doing that thing. And so, yeah, it was. And so it just like was unquestionable. It's like, yeah, that's of course what I'm going to do. And I had other friends that's what they were doing. And, we just had this idea of what life would be like. And in retrospect, it was kind of depressing and, whatever. That's what happens.
It's really impressive, though, that sure, it's depressing. I don't know many people that occupy themselves with something creative and productive, or at least can bank a dream on it in some capacity. Most of the time, the activities they end up doing are very self-destructive. Oh. They're not getting out of. They're digging deeper holes, and they're not looking at the fossils they find along the way. They're not fucking, you know what I mean?
Right.
To embolden that metaphor. But I knew a lot of people that were probably didn't have that influence of your parents to not want to disappoint them.
Right. Yeah.
That's weighs really heavily. It speaks to the kind of relationship you have with them too.
Yeah.
Because I can relate to that a lot. I think there's so much of me being afraid of, oh, my parents aren't going to think I'm smart anymore if I'm doing the stupid things like that.
Right.
I'm not going to be the individual I am, because I would get compliments, and they would be like a point of like discussion around other adults.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, this is my little sober boy type of thing. It's interesting to see what a massive effect just a little presence can have.
Yeah. I think that too, it's that I'm glad that I managed to gravitate towards other people that were self-motivated and that were doing things and that inspired me. And that's how Chris and I became friends. That's like, this guy is like making albums and like concept albums, and they sound better than any of the stuff that people are doing in their bedrooms. And, at that point we had a lot of friends that were, making and recording music, but it was nothing compared to what he was doing. And that, whenever there was a thing, that it was like, he was always on board and would help make it happen. And that, having people like that around you is immense compared to like when you hang out with people that, just, filter it into doing something that's, just kind of hurting themselves and not doing anything. So, yeah, it's I think that everyone, like, no matter what, has, you know, people in their lives that serve a purpose. And I think sometimes, you know, that gets overlooked, and that when you end up giving that to yourself, and, you know, that it really pays off. Because I remember when, you know, I started making music, and me and one of my best friends were like, Chris was the first person that we're like, we're going to try and do a show with him. And it's just like, it was like a thing. It was like, okay, we're going to write the MySpace message. Like, you know, it's like, what do we say? Like, don't blow this. And that kind of thing, where it's like, it's hard sometimes. It's like or even like, I'm sure it's like when you want to ask someone to be a guest on your podcast, or when you want to get coffee with someone or anything, that it's hard to like initiate things. Yeah. To just like, you know, it's so much easier to just let things happen to you sometimes with that. And, you know, life's crazy.
That's always I think, the one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult, is being the one to initiate something, because we're all familiar with the failure of it.
Yeah.
And you have to do it so often to find the successes in it.
Right.
A lot of people avoid it.
Yeah.
It's really easy for people to psych themselves out and find excuses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether we're even cognizant to it or not.
Yeah.
It's easy not to follow a dream.
Oh, for sure.
It's easy not to fight for something you love. It's easy not to reach out and talk to someone. Might be inconvenient. Your brain will give you a plethora of reasons not to do it.
Right. Yeah. 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 I relate wholeheartedly to not going down for the weekend to stay with your uncle. Like, I can think of a lot of different ways that I've done that. And that, sometimes it doesn't matter and it'll happen a later time. And sometimes you just have no idea. And yeah, I get that.
And sometimes if you don't learn your lesson, it'll keep happening. My friend Matt, who passed away in 2019, beginning of 2019, last thing I said to him was, "Oh, sorry, maybe next time."
Yeah.
I didn't get a next time.
Yeah.
Makes me kind of curious to know which next time I'm fucking up right now.
Right. And it's hard too, because you can get so consumed by that. And there's like a line to draw with, you have to be realistic with it. You can't do all the things. You can't see all the people. You can't pick up all the phone calls. You can't do all the things. And yet you think about that one time that you didn't, and there's like no right answer. You just have to do what, you feel is right in that moment, and have to forgive yourself and accept that there's times that you can't do the thing, that if you live your life thinking that all the time, that it's just, you're going to exhaust yourself with wondering what all the potential missed opportunities are. And
it's a way that you punish yourself, just like if you punish yourself by romanticizing these self-destructive paths you can take.
Right.
It's you're punishing yourself by I think a lot of it is you're victimizing yourself.
Yeah.
Going, I'm so flawed.
Yeah.
Look at me. I couldn't do this. Now I don't get a chance anymore.
Right.
Now I have to feel this way. And that kind of relates to what I mean about leaning into a feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's a way of like prolonging that. It's
Yeah.
like this weird punishment you give yourself. I feel like if you give the emotions their time to go through, you know?
Right.
You might not continuously punish yourself for mistakes. Just kind of take what you can from that lesson.
Right.
And then each time you'll find a new lesson the next time something happens.
Right.
You'll know how to deal with it in a more complex way,
Yeah.
more comprehensive way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I have one more question for you, though.
Okay.
What part of the day do you look forward to most?
Dinner time.
Dinner time?
It's not just because I'm like dinner, but that's the part of the day that right now always feels normal, is that Chris and I will sit down and eat dinner together and watch and usually laugh at something. And right now the routine is that like before bed we'll watch like 2 or 3 episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm, even if like, you know, whenever we watch a thing, and then it's like the nightcap of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And yeah, that's my favorite part. It's because even if you have like a lame day, that's what I look forward to. And even like I'll have weddings that, you know, I get home late and he'll stay up and we'll just still eat and watch a thing. And I love that routine.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.